What's up and what's going on, everybody? What's up? What's going on, everybody? Shout out to everybody in the building. I already know what to do. You gotta hit that like button, whether you're catching it live or you're catching it after it's uploaded. Got another good one in store today. You see the title and you see the thumbnail. You see the question that's on the table. You see the question that's on the table. Well, it's not even a question. I put it in the form of a statement. I'm definitively saying defeating racism will not change these behaviors, and we're going to get into those behaviors. I alluded to some of them in the thumbnail. You can see the teaser trailer of just a small part of what we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be getting into. We're going to be arguing a number of points. We will be joined by Little Big Nate. So let's get ready to go. Let's strap on in. Oh, and I almost forgot one other thing that we're going to be talking about. This is this is one that I really like too. It is given the teaser trailer of the show. One that I really like is the actions of black men who have, as you call it, black conservatives, or just black men who have the philosophy, the thought process that line more up with somebody like Little Big Nate, or basically I would say the people who get called coons. I would say their actions and behaviors are more pro-black than the people that wear the title. We're going to get into that and explore that one as well. But with that being said, let's get ready to go. Let's strap on in. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What's up and what's going on? Shout out to everybody in the building. What's going on, good people? Salute. Welcome aboard. Shout out to SKC. SKC says, why isn't that already having technical difficulties? I can't enlarge the screen for some reason. I don't know why that's doing that. Let me figure out a different way to fix this problem that you all can't even see that I'm having. But shout out to SKC, says, talking about a wheelhouse topic for a coon. I'm so proud I'd even be willing to show my secret stash of madness. And I think that says madness. I can barely even see it. Madness infused chicken butter biscuits. Shout out to you. See Hood Servative in the building says this week in oppression with Hood Servative. Like the name got there. He says reparation won't make the Freak Nick documentary go away. Right on. Omega Dreads in the building. Shout out to Omega Dreads. Shout out to KG, says when the ABW say go build something, They are talking about the self-esteem so that they can feel better than Becky. That's the crux of their discomfort or discontent. I'm sorry. It's small on my screen. I can't see it and I can't blow it up because I'm having technical difficulties. So I'm really squinting my eyes more than normal right now. Really squinting my eyes more than normal to where I'm not even going to read no comments till I get this problem fixed. I see Robert J. Carmichael. He says, "I'm guilty. I'm a coon." I know. But without further ado, going to bring up my guest today. Welcome aboard, Little Big Nate. RM, you could drop the music in the back and like as stated. Let me see if I can get. Okay, now that's working. Okay, cool. Y'all can't even see the technical difficulties I'm having, but just know that I'm having them. But we are joined by Little Big Nate. We are Little Big Nate. Blackground TV in the building. He says, "You fellas have to stop thinking how y'all behave is cool." I hope that you are willing to come up. We got a whole presentation planned here, but if there's a moment if you're available in a brief window, I will put the link in the chat for you to come up and offer some pushback. Please at any moment. Pushback is absolutely 100% welcome. In fact, the link is always in the chat for detractors. That's going to be a new thing that I do. Detractors always get the link. We roll out the red carpet and drop the Coming to America rose petals for the detractors to come right in. Come right on in. So yeah, so the link will be available for detractors. But without further ado, let me formally welcome Little Big Nate in the building. What's going on?
What's up, Mr. Riley? How you doing, sir?
Doing great.
Excellent. You know, it's strange. Most of the guys on our side of the aisle are doing really, really well. So strange. You know, guys that lean to the political right. You know, of course, I can't speak for Mr. Riley. I don't know that he would classify himself as a conservative, but I'm sure on his
I've said that much, that I'm definitely
leaning
right leaning would call myself a conservative. Yeah, no problem. No issue there. Issue there. I mean, I don't scream it from the mountaintop like you.
Understood.
I don't got nowhere near the venom for those who are left of the center line. I don't have as much venom, but no, I definitely would say I definitely lean more right than left. So yeah.
And isn't it interesting? There's a thread of commonality amongst all of the men on this side of the aisle of how absolutely well we're doing. It's amazing. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Well, we want to get into that. We're going to get into a number of things. One thing we'll start with, because I shortened up the title. I shortened up the title because you wanted to go with a very particular title. I just shortened it up and tried to make it easier to read. I may actually tweak it a little bit myself, but go ahead and lay out the title that you wanted to go with for this show. Shit.
Sure, and this will be the title of my stream this evening. Okay, come through the Rumble. Check your boy Little Big Nate out.
Yeah.
How does going to war with the white man, how does going to war with the white man help Black women improve the life decisions that they make? Because the single greatest impediment to Black progress in America is not systematic white oppression, is not white racism. 99.999% of white people have absolutely no influence, control, or effect on your life as a Black person in this country. You need to stop it. But the greatest obstacle to Black people's success is the terrible decisions Black women make in their personal lives. There is no greater impediment, and I'm going to prove it to you.
Let's go. Blackground TV says it's y'all. We are the problem. I'm trying to see, what is he saying? He said it's self-hating Black men like yourselves I think he's saying self-hating
It's
black men like
interesting.
self-hating black men like us. He's calling us self-hating, which I
And
think
and
that
and
we
you're
are.
constantly here listening to these self-hating black men. Why aren't you off building your pro-black, gay, and trans utopia? How do you have any time to be here listening to all these coons, bootlicks, and self-hating black men? Go sit kumbaya in a circle, folded knee, and you all discuss all the great plans you have for your communist and Marxist black utopia, headed up by black women who believe they have the right to kill their children. Black Ground TV or whatever your name is.
Mhm.
Ugh.
Now, let me this is something that sort of came to me when I was well, actually it came to me previously when I was we were, you were on my show and we was going in. Um and it's actually kind of sort of related to the conversation that was going on when BGS came up, and you, BGS, Hood Conservative, Black Uru, and myself was up there. I think it was a really
Great
good conversation,
conversation.
much
Absolutely.
needed conversation. I'm still mad at myself I didn't take the time to clip it. I still might, even though I know a lot of people already seen it. I still should clip it. But this is one thing I was thinking. I'm kind of putting you on the spot with this one, because you go in quite a bit when it comes to talking about you know white supremacy or the white man, and how black men or black people spend an inordinate amount of time worrying about that, talking about that, just ruminating about it as they inside and out, back and forth. What do you think about the idea that when you go in, when you're talking about the left and everything that they have done, the Democratic Party and everything that they've done essentially to black people, do you think that there's some that in your own roundabout way, do you see how it could be argued that you very well are doing something similar to what they're doing? Just you put Democrat in front of it versus they just say white supremacy. Do you see how the
Well,
two?
no. Well, it's very different because I'm actually pointing out specifically who the primary culprit is. I
Mhm,
don't sit around whining about white Democrat and white liberalism. I'm begging black men and the few black women that will listen to come away from it. Because the only way we're going to be successful as a group of people is to come away from it. There is nothing that the Luciferian left and the pro-blacks and the hoteps can argue that would make us more successful as black conservative men coming away from our conservative ideology or associating ourselves with the Republican Party. Because over on this side of the aisle is consistent and persistent success among the men. And there is no denying that the most productive men in this space are going to be the men that align with the right leaning side of the political spectrum. I'll put our collective financial success dollar for dollar against theirs any day. I'll also put the one act that demonstrates the idea that a man is pro black more than any other. And almost none of the men on the opposite side of the aisle have this, and that would be a black marriage. There are so many married black conservative men, many of them married to black women. Now, make no mistake, I have no requirements that a conservative black man marry any particular woman.
mhm.
Marry whoever you choose, as long as the lady meets a particular set of criteria and standards. But the marriages and the attempts at marriages, like mine failed, like yours, Mr. Riley, you attempted, but it failed, but you attempted to do things correctly. On this side of the aisle are marriages, families, business owners, and black men who have attempted marriages with black women. On the opposite side of the aisle, there is almost none of that. These men have no marriages they can point to, almost none of them. And the guys that do have families, they're not real families. They're baby mamas scattered everywhere. Shout out to Robert Perkins. 5 baby mamas, 6 black children, and another pro-black. Isn't it interesting how pro-black ideology, many of the men that have it are responsible for helping damage the black community in one of the most horrible ways imaginable, producing a bunch of unmarried women with illegitimate children. How dare you bring anybody's black bona fides into question when you gentlemen very rarely participate in the most revolutionary act imaginable, which is marriage to a black woman. You should shut your fucking mouths. And I'm talking to one guy in particular. The rest of you gentlemen, I'll be civil with, as long as you're civil with me.
All right. What do you think about this comment right there? He says, you shouldn't be called a conservative if you don't have 5 employees.
That's funny. I mean, the men who produce actual brick and mortar businesses with federal tax ID numbers, I would match the businesses on our side to the businesses on the pro-black side. I don't know if this gentleman is a pro-black, but I'll for every one business, actual business, federal tax ID numbers included, I'll match you 2 for 1, probably 5 for 1 on our side versus theirs. My premise today is that you pro-blacks, you hoteps, and you leftist black males, until you have the courage to correct black women's behavior, all your incessant talk and bravado about what you're going to do to and with the white man is meaningless and moot. It's worthless. It's bitch babble at the end of the day, gentlemen.
Yeah, it looked like the guy who I just whose comment SS said was hidden. Okay, I see he was unhidden. He must have been hidden by accident. I didn't see a hideable offense in there. So that must have been an accident. Confirmed that was an accident. Yeah, then not trying to hide nobody. Not trying to hide nobody for their opinion. Not trying to hide nobody for their opinion. Yeah, see, well, somebody Nate just timed somebody out for that.
Yeah, he's a coward. The other day he was here, and I invited him to my Rumble channel. Of course, he didn't come. You know, he was never in the chat. Dude, why are you even here? Honestly, you add nothing to the conversation. I've seen what you do on panels. You hop on and off like an erratic woman. I've told black men in the background when I started coming on platforms 4 years ago, I told them, I said, the most disruptive element in this space are going to be black leftist men. Their emotionalism, their inability to argue their points in a comprehensive and cogent manner. All they do is fight and yell and scream and attack. That's all they do. When you have a panel of right-leaning black men, there's almost no issues. Brothers are not talking over each other. Brothers acquiesce to each other. There's almost no problems until you bring a leftist up, and then everything goes to shit, usually. Okay? So, again, I never go to your spaces to say anything to you because you're of no consequence. Why are you here bothering me? Why are you here sullying Bernard's chat? Just go away. Nobody wants you here. You men produce very little. You pro-blacks, you hoteps. The thing you produce more than anything, just like your good friend, Dr. Umar, the prince of Pan-African, panhandling, pandering, you produce baby mamas.
Wait. That's say that. I need to hear that one again. Hold on. I got background noise.
You've never heard me say that?
Say that again. The prince of what?
I call Dr. Umar, and I like some of what Dr. Umar says and does, but I call Dr. Umar the Pan-African prince of pandering and panhandling. That's what I call
the prince of Pan-African.
The Pan-African prince of pandering to black women and panhandling. He's always begging for money.
It's all the pan that you put in there that just threw me. It was those 3 pans. The Pan-African
There's
prince.
4. There's 4. There's 4.
No, wait. Pan-African.
Yes.
Panhandling. Pandering. What's the other one?
And pandering, panhandling, Pan-African.
That's 3.
Oh my God, it is 3. My apologies.
Okay, yeah, you get it. It works. It works. That was funny. That was funny.
Thank you. I'm known to have a bit of a comedic side, you know. You can come through and check it out on Rumble channel.
Okay.
But you know, it's beautiful. You know, the Bible in Revelations talks a lot about separation. Much of Revelations is about a separating of the wheat from the tare. You know, there's going to be a massive separation, the wicked from those attempting not to be, you know. And I look forward to being a part of bringing about that separation. Unity is one of probably the silliest concepts that a black man can promote. Not when you have
Oh, my bad.
black people. Oh, excuse me.
Oh no, no, that's my fault. I didn't get I didn't turn my ringer off. There it is. Okay, now I'm on silent. Okay, carry on, carry on.
Yeah, yeah. There is a significant separation coming. Um, First of all, you know, there's the black men in this country that are invested in it to whatever degree that they have investment in it. The black men in this country that are going to take the portion of this country that they feel belongs to them. With an investment, you expect a return. That return is us taking advantage of the opportunities that are out here. This country is replete with opportunities for us if we would only take them. Okay. Rather than sit around complaining, bitching, and moaning about things that at the end of the day have almost no effect on us. A 25-year-old white woman's opinion, excuse me, about slavery and about reparations has absolutely no effect on us. It has no effect on proper black men. As we've seen, it has an inordinate effect on black men who don't think properly and the black men that follow black women in their political leadership. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And we are going to get nowhere with this pus filled, diseased albatross of black victimhood and grievance culture hanging around our necks. I'm not here saying racism don't exist. I'm saying on the list of the top 100 most pressing problems for Black America, racism is probably number 174, maybe 75 out of the top 100.
That's a very specific number.
Yes, yes. And it can be 174, 175 out of the top 100 most pressing problems. The single most destructive element in Black America today, impeding our forward progression and our progress as a collective group of people, is not white racism. You can't even make that argument. It's not systematic white supremacy. It's the victimhood culture, grievance culture, and it is the terrible, the magnificently terrible decision making of Black American women in their personal lives. I'm sorry. This is not an attempt by me to abdicate Black men's responsibility. There is some responsibility with a very small, very chaotic group of Black men, many of whom you will find in the pro Black leftist Hotep community. Those Black men that have very few accomplishments they can point to. Almost all the men on our side have a litany of accomplishments, including myself, that we can point to. We put what we do on display for everybody to see, okay, including our families, okay? And the men on the other side, they just simply don't have many to point to. And one of the clearest examples of how corrosive these men's thinking is their insistence that before anything can happen constructive, how we all must come together and do it. Real men don't sit around waiting on other men to do things that they're supposed to do themselves. I don't have to sit around and expect the Black community to feed my children, the Black community to get the house built that I want, the Black community to make sure my son and daughter are okay. I have to make sure of that. All this, we need to do this for our people. No. A community isn't made up of a bunch of people taking care of each other. A community is made up of a bunch of people with a set of principles and ideals that are similar, living in accord with each other, maintaining a standard. And the
But
standard,
wouldn't that be essentially a we, though, if it's a group of people living technically, living together or in the same community with similar ideas, values, and standards, there's an element of that to where there is a we, though. So what's the
No, no,
difference go ahead.
the we comes in when you live in a two-parent household with your children. I have a functional household with my children. We have disciplined, moral children being raised in households where there is a man present. The man can be alone doing it because all the research and academic data reflects that children raised in single father households, there is almost no distinguishable characteristics between those children and the children raised in two-parent households. The anomaly, the problem, are the children raised in single mother households. And single motherhood is something that is celebrated in the Black community, along with several other dysfunctional pathologies.
So your argument basically is, and by the way, the link is in the chat for detractors, because I think I saw somebody asking
already?
for
I
it.
got a lot. Well,
No. It's not going to be just an open panel. But if somebody want to come up, if they got a
real
disagreement
quick,
with something that you said, they want to come up. No. We got a lot to get to. But if somebody wants to come up, that's something I'm going to do. If somebody hears something they disagree with, they can come up. I'll give them 10 minutes.
Okay.
We'll give them we'll give them 10 minutes, and then we'll get back to the show.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But no. So the link is in the chat. If you got some disagreements only. All right, disagreements only. You got a disagreement, you can come up, we can get it in quick, and then we'll get back to the show. So basically, You're saying that what it comes down to, unless family structure and all of that is ordered, then you can't look at we from a collective standpoint. I think it's more so like you're saying that Black people are talking about we need to do this, we need to do that, but everything is just out of order and chaotic. They're basically saying they're trying to sprinkle all that we magic over
their inability to do things correctly. If I can sit here telling you we need to do all this, then there's no pressure on me to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. This is why these men talk like this. We. No other community of people talks like this. If there's cooperation, it's by small groups of like-minded people looking to accomplish a goal. There's no 30, 40 million people that need to participate in something before small individual advancements are made. This is nonsense. And this is all they talk about over there. Whereas we, on this side of the political spectrum, we handle our business individually, then we can come together and accomplish things in relatively small groups of men and help move us forward. Small groups of men all over the place accomplishing their goals. Awesome. Beautiful.
All right.
That's how we.
So we got a detractor coming up. We're going to get back to the shows. We got a lot to present here, but we're going to give the gentleman AC Star.
Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning.
I
Go ahead.
Come in peace. I definitely come in peace, no argument. But the one thing that I disagree with is this notion that the Republican Party is offering you guys something, and in that offering, where you say we do better than you guys, you can show us this, that, and the third. Now, I've been in this space for a few years, maybe 4 or 5 years. I want to see all these Black men that's in the manosphere, that's married, that's with businesses, that's with families. The majority of the men that I hear don't have neither.
Okay.
Most are worker bees.
Well, no, actually, I'm not talking about most of the men in this space. I'm talking about the men in our right-leaning conservative community, the men of Cyric, center-right, independent, Republican, and conservative Black men. I'll give you a few names. We got Brother Bernard. He leans to the right. He was married.
He's not married.
Sir, stop interrupting me.
Next.
Do you see why you
cannot communicate with them? If you're going to present something as factual, you can't use people who are no longer
Brother Bernard. Brother Bernard.
All right. Okay. All right.
I'm not wrong about that.
All right. Black ground.
But I'm not wrong about that, Bernard.
Chill. Well, you technically not, but at the end of the day, we are
let
talking.
Me finish my sentence, Bernard.
If you're talking about me, you are talking about somebody. As far as what he said, as far as business, I haven't worked for anybody since 2019, You are talking about somebody who was
Bernard,
married,
you know for a
got
fact
married,
that
got
on
married.
my
Hold
old
on, hold on,
construction
hold on,
site.
hold
He
on, hold on,
can't
hold on,
stop.
hold
He
on, hold
can't.
on, hold on, hold on. We are talking about somebody who did get married and was married for 12 years and got custody of my kids, and so got fought to get custody of my kids afterwards. So from that standpoint, I technically did
I get
everything
you.
right.
I get you. You fall in a certain category. I get you.
Shit went
I get
wrong,
you. I
and I
get you.
did everything to rectify
Right,
it in
right.
the best way
You did
possible.
what you
So,
were supposed to do. It just didn't all pan out
Bernard, if he would
under
have
your
let
belief
me
system. I got
finish
you.
my
all right,
statement, like
yeah.
these guys almost never do, I was saying, you heard me in my monologue say, men that were married and men that attempted to do it right. But of course, like most leftists, he does not let you finish a sentence. Why don't
Brother,
you let me
stop calling
finish?
me a leftist. I'm not
You
a
are
fucking
a
leftist. Stop calling
leftist,
me a
sir.
leftist with
That's
your
what
nonsense.
you are.
I'm not a leftist.
You
Stop
are
disrespecting
actually you're a
and talking crazy to me
Luciferian
like
leftist.
you built like that.
That's
Have
what you
some
are.
respect for once. Have some respect
Sir, I have
for
no
people for once.
respect for
All right,
men
Didn't
like
come up
AC,
you.
here
AC, all
I
right.
have
disrespecting,
no
talking crazy
respect
to
for
you.
men
I
like
came
you.
up here with respect. So
None.
you're gonna
I'm sorry.
respect me. I'm not a leftist. You're
Now,
gonna
All right,
respect
all
me
right,
as
all
a
right, all right,
man.
all right,
I
all right,
don't care
cool, cool,
what
cool.
Bernard
nonsense
All
is
right,
you
never
all right.
going
Let
to
me get,
let
let
me
me get,
finish
to,
a
let me get it,
sentence.
let me get it back,
respect me
AC,
as a
AC.
man,
Let me
brother.
get it
I
back.
didn't
All
call
right,
you
we're gonna
no
try.
man.
We're gonna
Didn't
hold
Look
call
at
on.
it.
you anything.
Look at it.
AC.
I didn't call you anything, brother. Respect me as a man.
I
I'm
know
not a
you can
leftist.
hear me. I know you can hear me. Come on, come on. We're gonna try. We're gonna try one more time.
We'll give it one more try,
One more
Bernard.
time. He put a question out there. We're gonna throw it to Nate to answer it. Go ahead.
Oh, boy. All right. So, like I said, the marriages and those that have attempted marriage are on our side. Brother Bernard attempted the marriage thing, didn't work out, got custody of his children, productive, right-leaning black man. Myself, I attempted a marriage. I filed for divorce. It didn't work out. Got full custody of my two children, raised them by myself with no help from their mother. We got Dark Knight Mentality. Shout out Dark Knight. I don't know if he's in the chat. He's a divorced brother. He was actually a stepfather, attempted to marry the black woman, didn't work out. We got our good friend GMB. Shout out to Grown Man Business. Hardcore right-wing Alabama brother. Married, beautiful wife, large family, incredibly successful black man. We got my brother Great Britain, leans to the political right. Beautiful black family, married to his wife, children. We got my man Big Mike Drop, leans to the conservative right. Beautiful black family, married. We got my man Charles Merchant. Hopefully he's in the chat. Leans to the political right, married. The list goes on and on.
Don't forget
Black men.
JB. Don't forget JB. He be walking around
Oh,
Atlanta.
my dog,
with
young,
yeah.
young lion, brilliant, credited with having a genius level IQ, conservative,
Be walking
newlywed,
around
married to his
Atlanta
beautiful wife.
be walking around with Atlanta with a "Make America Great Again" hat on with him and his black wife. That's some funny shit. Anyway.
Now, like I said, most of for every marriage we have, for every marriage over there, I could probably give you 10 over here of black men that are married or attempted to do things the right way and things fell through. There are almost no marriages on the Luciferian left.
I'm
There's a
married.
bunch
I'm on the
of,
left. I'm
why don't
married.
you let me
I'm on the
finish?
left.
Why don't you let
I'm
me
married.
finish?
Hold on, wait.
Why don't
He
you let
almost
me
finished.
finish?
He almost finished.
There's almost no marriages over there. And the three gentlemen that are at the head of this most recent Luciferian leftist controversy, O'Shea, Mr. Cyril Garvey, and Jason Black, no wives, no family. Cyril Garvey has a baby mama, but that's common over there on that
Yeah,
side
but
of things.
they're
A bunch
not
of
politically
baby
left
mamas.
leaning
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
They don't believe. They're
A
not
bunch
Democrats.
of
They don't
baby
believe in
mamas.
anything.
This
They're
activity
not.
is leftist.
Who? His proclivities are leftist.
Being completely preoccupied with some fucking 25-year-old white woman thinks
Well, I
is
don't
left.
necessarily think he's. I don't think he's. I don't think they're. I think it's just the notion of how she made her place into y'all space. That's the $1,000,000 question. It's
She
not
didn't
so
make
much
our.
about
She's
who
not. She's
she
not
is.
in this.
Come on, y'all know that.
She's
That's
not
simple.
in our. She's not in our
Come on,
space.
brother. She's in y'all space, brother.
No,
You
she's
brothers
not.
can't deny that fact
She's
that she's in
doing.
y'all space.
She's doing content on her
Within your
own
space.
over there. How do you
Within
do
your
content?
space.
How do you do content in this space? How does that
The
work?
way you're doing it right now, the way Big Nate does it when he does content, that way. What are you talking about? She does
No, okay.
content
So
in your
all
space.
you got to do.
Do you think Fantastic went up there because he's not familiar with who she is?
All you got to do is start a YouTube channel and just title and
Okay, you
tag
can
it
start a YouTube channel, but when your algorithms and your fan base and your subs
fan
and
base,
the content that you're talking
subs,
about is
1.3
aligned with a
million.
particular sphere, that means that you're doing content in that sphere.
Okay, and
She's
okay, so now okay, hold on. You described it right there. She did. She studied the manosphere at large, studied red pill concepts at large, and then tailored her content to it. That was all
right.
she did.
But
And
Bernard, when
then at some point later on, some point down the road, without any contact with us, she blew up and got like 600,000 subs. And then
She doesn't necessarily have to have contact with you guys to be in a space. She doesn't necessarily have to have contact to be
Okay, all right,
adjacent to
cool.
you and have a manosphere
Okay.
type
So yeah, so
ideology.
you basically said she blew up off siphoning manosphere content.
No,
I
I
agree with
think
that
she
part.
blew up. I think she blew up off the idea that you guys presented. She blew up off of what O'Shea and the original fathers brought and what you wake up to do every day excellently. She blew up off that.
Yeah,
And I don't see how you guys don't do that.
siphoned content. Basically, she
I'm not gonna say
saw a
siphon
working.
content. That's your
Okay,
word.
not siphoned,
I'm gonna just say she found a space where she could be profitable and flourish, and she jumped in it.
Can I say something real quick?
She didn't even jump in it. She did her own thing. She mimicked the content and she spammed the algorithm with a bunch. She spammed. Brother. Like, this is okay. I'm sorry. This is where I forget people don't understand how YouTube work. If you spam the algorithm with a bunch of shorts, with a bunch of short reels that's titled a certain way and tagged a certain way, you're going to draw
she's
a
in
larger
your space.
audience.
Unfortunately, I'm not celebrating it. I don't want you to think I'm celebrating.
Whoa. Can I get a sec?
Bruh,
Bernard, 1 sec. Can you please scroll and pull up Shaka? Shaka had a question and I want to answer it. Pull up Shaka's question, please. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Bernard, but go ahead. I just want Shaka's question to come up because I'd like to answer. Thank you.
All right. Just go ahead. No, I mean you can go ahead. You can go ahead and answer that right now. Well, I'll just say this and then you can answer it.
Sure.
People bend over backwards to try to blame a black manosphere of which Pearl had no contact with until she got over like 600,000 subs before she had any contact with like the Lapeef network that was adjacent to the black manosphere. She got in some controversy, went on Obsidian when she had like 650,000 subs. Sometime shortly after that, it wasn't because she went on Obsidian show, but sometime shortly after that, she like really blew up and hit 1 million but had little to no content with us. What you can say is that she sat there, fly on the wall, read some Rollo Tomasi books, watched his stuff, saw Fresh and Fit's business model and show format, listened to some Kevin Samuels clapback points and all of that, and figured out a way to make her own little perfect cocktail of that shit over in the UK. So yeah, she mimicked, she bit the swag and copied the style, but don't make it seem like we elevated and lifted her up like we was just worshiping the white woman. Like no, she did her own thing and blew up in the YouTube algorithm by stealing concepts she saw men do first. That's what happened. That's what happened. If you want to call that she in our space, then oh well. You go ahead. All right, go ahead, Nate. Go ahead, Nate. Answer your question.
All right, Shaka. So if you have no wife or kids, automatically a leftist, or does marriage automatically make you somehow virtuous or something? Great question, Shaka. My premise for pointing out the juxtaposition of the black men on the right and the black men on the left is this. Like I said, the most profound act of pro-black ideology, and the simplest one, would be for these pro-black men to go out, find a suitable black woman, marry her, bring her under your leadership into the world you've built, and start a family with her. That is the basis for everything that's going to, quote unquote, help the black community. It will come out of an intact black family. And the problem, Shaka, is that it almost doesn't exist on the left side of the political spectrum. The easiest thing to do, the most profound pro-black thing a black man can do in this country would be to start a black family. And what I'm pointing out is the men on the right, and I'm not classifying any of the men I mentioned as a pro-black. I'm pointing out the activity that they and we engaged in as being way more pro-black than any of the niggas on the left. Thank you, Shaka.
All right, well, listen, this is my point. You keep saying the niggas on the left. who can you identify on the left to say that they're not married? Like you put this thing
almost none of the guys on the left are married. I'm
please.
sorry, dog. Almost none of them are married. I've been in this space for
well, okay, all right. Well, hold on, Nate. I think the way to center the argument in a way, because saying, especially if you're saying niggas in this space on the left ain't married, and I don't, it's not too many people. I mean, yeah, they play fast and loose with it, where they will say they're not on the left, and then you listen to what they say and how they the points that they make, what they argue, what they attack, and it seems like they are. A lot of people in this space try to be politically neutral. I'll say that. I'll say that.
Most
but
black
overall,
men try to be politically neutral.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But this is the only difference, and this is where I found myself looking at things differently. There is all the stuff that we acknowledge that's a problem in the black community. There is one side of the political aisle that is more apt to subsidize and incentivize it, and so it's hard for me to to see the things I see, understand the things that I understand, and then go and vote that way. It doesn't mean that doesn't mean that you got to become a card carrying
But when
Republican.
you guys say that, right, subsidize and all that, which I think what you guys missing is political, and that's why I say you guys really don't have a political understanding, because both parties are parties of factions and tents. They're just not sole parties with one particular monolithic group in the parties. Just like on the Republican side, they subsidize corporations of rich people who don't need no subsidies, right?
Right. Okay, wait, hold on. Wait, let me ask you this. AC.
Please, man,
hold on, real quick. This is an important question.
Finish.
This is an important question. Do you think, okay, yes, the Republicans subsidize some bullshit that we shouldn't care about, but do you see a difference if one side is subsidizing the thing that's helping to cause the destruction in the black community that you say you care about?
No, there is no empirical research that you guys can say what they're subsidizing is causing the destruction of our community.
Oh my God.
You know what's causing the destruction of our community? For the inability of black people to acknowledge that we have a multitude of issues that we need to address, and putting it solely on the black woman is not going to help us. We have to
I haven't even made my case yet.
When
I get back to making my case.
Please. Black women are not at the soul of our issues in the black community. They're just not. They're just not.
All right, AC.
All right, we heard you loud and clear.
Because we're ignoring the real problems that's happening. We're ignoring deindustrialization of our community. We're ignoring the lack of commerce.
Industrialization of our community.
We're ignoring these things to argue about black women.
Industrialization of our community.
I don't know what she
does. All right, AC. All right, AC. I was trying to get your attention. I had to drop you. Had to drop you, but thank you. We'll bring you back. We about to get to the presentation, because basically all the things that he was saying are unsubstantiated. Nate kind of does have a presentation here to substantiate it. So I'm gonna pull up this slideshow.
Beautiful.
This little fun slideshow here. Where Nate, we're gonna break down the history. And get into it. But no, AC, no disrespect on dropping you. You weren't listening. You were just talking. He get going. But no disrespect on that. We said 10 minutes. We about to get back to the show. We'll drop it for you later. Good conversation. Some things you said I thought was kind of reaching, but some things you gave good, legitimate, valid pushback that that's worthy of an answer. And hopefully we answer some of the questions in the presentation. Let's get ready to go. Let's go. I'm about to roll the tape.
All right.
45 minutes in. Let's go. Well, hold on. Do you want to set this up real quick? Because I set it up myself.
We're going to take a look at, what's interesting, since I've come to this space about 4 years ago, and I've been brutalizing and dissecting and destroying the Democrat Party. Yeah, you got a lot of black men in this space now that'll say, I'm no Democrat. My mom, in 2019, she had a knee replacement surgery. She came to stay with me for a little over 4 months while she healed up. My mother's a Democrat. And she did what black people have done throughout my entire adult life when they are confronted with the facts that I present to them. She's lived her whole life as a Democrat.
I'll be right back.
She has all the smoke and nonsense to say about why she doesn't like Republicans. Then she has a conversation with me, right? And all of a sudden it's, well, I don't like either party. Once I lay out the case of how absolutely horrible white Democrats are and how destructive our association with this party has been for the last 70 years of our sojourn in this country. My mother does the same thing all these other black people do, including Black Ground, including now BGS. Oh, I'm no Democrat. Oh, I'm no Democrat. Nonsense. That's exactly what you are. You've been voting that way for decades. Okay? You follow black women's political leadership and you follow it into hell. That's what you do. You're so preoccupied with the white man. Let me show you your white Democrat man.
All right, you ready? Ready to roll it?
Go ahead, sir.
Today's Democratic Party believes that government has an important role to play in society. It fights against economic inequality. It advocates policies that battle racial and gender discrimination. But it wasn't always this way. The Democratic Party was once the party of white supremacy, supporting slavery and the Ku Klux Klan. To understand how the party made such a huge shift, you have to go back to its origins in the mid-1820s, when it sprung up supporting the presidential candidacy of a popular former general, Andrew Jackson. Jackson was an outsider, challenging the political establishment and the elites of his day, and his critics disparaged him as a jackass. But Jackson embraced the animal as a symbol of determination, and donkeys started appearing in newspapers to represent him and his followers. In the 1828 presidential election, which saw record-breaking popular participation, Jackson won in a landslide victory. So his supporters argued that they, and not the old elites, represented the popular will of the country, and they started calling themselves the Democratic Party. Jackson's administration immediately began expelling Native Americans living east of the Mississippi River, an issue that defined the new administration. After he signed the Indian Removal Act into law in 1830, 5 large tribes were rounded up and forcibly marched into territories and camps further west. And the Democrats' ambitions didn't stop there. In the 1840s, the party adopted the doctrine of manifest destiny, the idea that Americans, white Americans, were divinely entitled to dominate the whole North American continent. Democratic President James K. Polk put this idea into action, massively expanding U.S. holdings by annexing Texas, acquiring Oregon, and winning much of what's now the southwestern U.S. in a war with Mexico. But soon afterward, national politics devolved into bitter controversy over whether new states entering the Union should be permitted to allow slavery. Democrats said they should, since their support base was strongest in slaveholding states. Yet a new northern party, the Republicans, sprang up.
You just let out something.
Oh,
a
yeah.
growl
I
or
mean,
something from within. With you,
the entire South is. Well, wait till you see these campaign posters. Just continue, because we've lost some time. There's some things I want to get to in these
in
videos.
Opposition to expanding slavery any further. When Republican Abraham Lincoln won the presidency, the South seceded and the Civil War began. Once the Civil War was over, the Republican Party was bitterly unpopular among white Southerners who wanted to maintain supremacy over former slaves. So the Democratic Party promised to limit federal government intervention on behalf of black citizens. Democrats became effectively the only political party in the South, aided by intimidation.
All right.
Can you move the closed caption? And I wanted that poster to show. If you could scroll till you can get to that poster.
Okay.
Unpopular among white Southerners. Federal government intervention on behalf of black citizens. Democrats became effectively the only.
Did you pause it? All right. The Democrat platform is for the white man. The Republican platform is for the Negro. The distinguished Democrat racist white man on the left, the ill-formed, strange, kinky hair, strange shaped nose, large, exaggerated lips. The Republican platform is for the Negro.
Yeah, I don't know if people could see that, but at the bottom, that's what it says. It's like the white YouTube line is kind of blocking it, but it says after it says the Democratic platform, it says it's for the white man. The Republican
it's for
platform,
the white man. This is
for the Negro. Now, this to be clear, the Democrat. This is something that Democrats back then put out as like
this is their
propaganda to make Republican. Is this It looked like this is something that you put out to make Republicans look bad, so white people will not vote with Republicans. Because I mean, it looked like they depicted the black
They
person.
did not want white people voting for the Republican Party, which was represented by blacks. White Republicans were called carpetbaggers, which in all honesty is another word for nigger lover, if you look it up.
Mm-hmm.
So in the South, you had white Democrats on one side, racist, hateful white Democrats. On the other side, you had black Republicans and their white Republican counterparts working together to protect the property and the financial interests and political interests of black people. That's why I keep telling black people, your enemy is not the white man, it's been the white Democrat. And it's just a historical, irrefutable fact. But it's easier to blame white people. You can be ignorant, you can be intellectually lazy and just blame the white man. But at the end of the day, gentlemen, you leftists, you hoteps, you pro-blacks, how exactly is going to war with the white man going to correct black women's personal behavior? Go ahead.
All right, real quick. Black Wizard Ados in the building says people who ignore our relationships to focus on economics overlook the fact that economics reflects our relationship values at a larger scale. Yeah, a lot of people don't take into account that there's a difference when you look at individual income versus when you look at household income. A lot of the big drop off when it comes to household income between black and white, or even black. Put it like this. This is the best way to explain it. Black men make more money than Hispanic and Latino men. Black women make more money than Hispanic and Latino women. But Hispanic and Latino people, they have a higher household income. Why? It's two people in the house. That's the best way to explain it. So when you're talking about economics and building wealth and generational wealth and all of that, yeah, the dysfunction in relationships plays a big factor in that. To respond to what Black Brown or AC, if I forget, he goes by two different names. To respond, better to what he was saying when he say, y'all just talking about that. Y'all just talking about that. Okay, yeah, a battle is fought on many fronts. If this is the particular area that we focus on, that's what we focus on. How's the stuff that you say we should be focusing on you people who focus on that part of it? How are y'all doing at that? It's like, so I'll just throw that out there. But he goes on to say, if your families are dysfunctional, your economics will be too. Very well said, Black Wizard Ados. And Black Wizard Ados, he doesn't always agree with a lot of stuff that Nate says or what I say for that matter. But he always he definitely he always drops insightful super chats, See people coming up in the back. The link was put in the chat earlier just for disagreements. And we kind of moving on. Damn, two people I rock with down there. I see you down there. We trying to let us. We're gonna bring people up
gotta
later.
Give a chance, brother, to
later in the show.
Out.
We got a lot we about to get to. Then we're gonna open it up for everybody. Unless it's a specific. Let me know what disagreement y'all specifically got in the back. Let me know put it in the private chat what specific disagreement y'all got. But we're gonna roll it. If y'all got a specific disagreement. Other than that, we'll get to it later. No disrespect. I rock with y'all. I see y'all down there, but we running behind. This is gonna be a 5-hour show if we don't get through the clips we got locked in the chamber ready to go. But all right, rolling it.
Political party in the South, aided by intimidation and suppression of black voters. Democrats also won on state and local levels, leading to the constant abuse of the rights of black citizens. As the 20th century began, the country was changing, and the Democratic...
That's it. All right. So just wanted to give you some context for the historical precedent that white Democrats have made. Now, same white Democrats that burned down Black Wall Street, you leftists and pro-blacks and hoteps love to talk about that. You say the white man burned down Black Wall Street. Oh, no, it was white Democrats who burned down Black Wall Street. White Republicans would have never done that, okay? Black codes, Jim Crow, all instituted by white Democrats, okay? I'm not going to let you be intellectually lazy around me and turn this into a war against all white people. Have the decency to be specific, okay? Just like we demand that black women stop castigating and attacking all black men for being bad fathers, when I just rattled off so many names of black men who either have custody of their children or incredibly involved with their children? Being a father is something every black man on our side of the aisle takes pride in. Okay. It speaks volumes about the type of man you are when somebody can look at your children and with admiration. And that's how the almost 100 black men that came to the Black Manosphere meetup looked at my son. It was important that all those men met my son. On my first channel, I interviewed my son. Me and Sir Tice did a 2-hour interview with my 22-year-old boy, just so I can show you what I've created. You guys on the left don't really show much. You don't show anything, okay? You have panels of people whining about the atrocities that were committed against us. If you cared about the feelings of our ancestors and what they went through, you would be here taking advantage of all the opportunities that they couldn't when they were here. That's how you honor them. You honor them with excellence. You don't honor them whining and crying about what they went through and perpetually living in the past, these civil rights relics like Roland Martin and Mark Lamont Hill, all these loser black men on the left that you all follow. I'm sorry. It is what it is. There's the men on this side of the aisle. There's how we think, and there's what we produce and what we can point to. And then there's the musings of you guys on the left, you hoteps, you pro-blacks. You don't show me anything. I don't see families. I don't see marriages. Like when you with a woman, for a while, most dudes will talk about their old lady, you know, my old lady this or my lady that. I don't ever hear that from these guys when at the times that I listen to them. I don't want any talk about family. Where are your families? It's the most revolutionary thing you could do as a pro-black would be to have a black wife, children, and be building your family. That woman would be under your leadership and she would move into the world that you've built, the world that you've established as a man. I just don't see that happening over there. But it happens all the time over here. And I've met dozens and dozens and dozens of the men. I've met them. I know them. I'm in communication with them. Men like Nick Taylor. He is a business owner, black father, married, family man, hardcore conservative. I can go down the list of these married black men or black men who attempted to do things right, but it just didn't turn out that way. At least we try. You dudes on the left, you don't even try. All this love for black people, the black community, blah, 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 blah. You won't do the simplest thing there is. Find yourself a suitable black woman. I saw somebody talk about that. Find yourself a suitable black woman, marry her, and start a family. You won't even do that. I can't take you serious.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's all good, all good. And thank you once again, Wizard, for the super chat. Thank you, everybody in the building. Make sure you hit the like button. We got 216 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button. All right, let's get to what else. What did you want to speak more on that? Did you want to speak more on that? Because we got more clips on deck.
Well, let's talk about Black Round had an issue with me saying black women's behavior is ultimately the primary culprit in why there's very limited collective black advancement. Okay. Let's go to the clip of the brawls, the fights that I had sent you. There was an audition for some horrible reality show. You know, Black Round TV says that, you know, there's nothing I can point to. I mean, there's nothing you can tell about what's subsidized. Welfare brings about the nightmare you see in Black America today. And it's not just Black America. Welfare, a group of individuals who consistently are on welfare, not marrying the people that they've had their children with. Few generations of this, that group of people is going to be in serious trouble. They'll be significantly underdeveloped, underproductive, and usually violent. And that's what we see here. Let's take a look at this magnificent, since Black women aren't the problem, Black Round. Hopefully you can explain that.
Now, I just want to say that Nate sent me the email links for all the stuff that we were going to review, and so the ratchetry that we're about to observe. This is all Nate's idea. His plan. I'm separating I have to do this with Hood Servitor from time to time. I have to separate myself from from the topics and the clips that we play. I have to separate myself from it. But this is all Nate's doing. We're gonna blame Nate for whatever we're about to observe here. All right. It's all Nate's fault. All right. Let's roll it. Let's roll it.
I'm Danye. I'm from Houston. Oh, I was born in Denver.
Okay.
What show are you auditioning for?
I'm auditioning for South Central Baddies.
Like a dandelion to me. You're very soft.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, like you're very sweet.
You ready for them on his
I'm
couch
trying
or
to show
not?
y'all.
You ready for them on
Oh
that couch
my
or not?
God.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I didn't mean to skip ahead. I was trying to pause. Okay. What the hell happened? What the hell happened that caused they just edited that?
They're
Just a bad.
auditioning for a reality show, so of course there's the hand-to-hand combat section of
Is that part of the audition? Like it's like tournament trials to you got to win the fight to get to the next round,
bruh. This is what a significant portion of Black women have devolved to. This is acceptable behavior among a significant portion of Black women and Black men. And it's disgusting, and I want our best and brightest to separate from it and get as far from it as humanly possible. This is all acceptable behavior on the Luciferian left, okay? This is where these women are calling the shots. They're in charge. A bunch of Black women, many homosexual.
Okay, Nate, let me devil's advocate this thing. Okay, some would say, we said this is all acceptable behavior on the Luciferian left. Some people would say these are just some ratchet chicks being ratchet and fighting. They've got nothing to do with anything, any political left or anything left leaning or anything. They're just some ratchet bitches being ratchet bitches.
No, sir.
What do you say to that? What do you say to that?
This is what 70 years of Democrat ideology and devotion to liberalism produces. A bunch of single mother raised Black women who think this type of behavior in public is acceptable. This type of behavior isn't acceptable anywhere, but especially in public. But this is how they act. Again, conservative ideology and beliefs are reflected in your behavior, how you act, your dealings with other people. We adhere to principles that undergird our lives. Y'all want to make this about Republican, Democrat. No, this is about an ideology, traditional values, conservatism versus liberalism, the Democrat Party, progressivism, woke culture. This is all that comes out of this. You'll notice on the stage, there are Black women and a homosexual Black man. This is all that exists over there, dog. This is what happens under the umbrella of the gynocracy, feminism, the Democrat Party and the left. These are the women that are in charge of the left. Black Ground TV demonstrates the fact you can't even criticize this stuff. Oh, it ain't about Black women. Whoa, you talking about Black women for? It's not about Black women's behavior. There are hundreds of thousands of videos of Black women beating the living shit out of each other all over the internet. How do you account for that? How do you account for the reality shows? The latest episodes of the Real Housewives or whatever is out. And some of the main scenes are the Black women beating the living shit out of each other. This is what happens when there are no significant cultural consequences for a woman's behavior. This is what you'll get. You get fistfights happening in public in broad daylight and all acceptable. Yeah. Just this is how they act. This all happens under the banner of the left, the Democrat Party. The women are in charge. No behavior is to be criticized. This is 2.5 generations of welfare moms. If you'd like, let it roll, sir.
I'm just observing the guy right here, just sitting there with his arms folded. That's an interesting observation right there. He just chilling. Nothing to see here. No need to intervene. Just let him go. Let him go. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm ugly. Okay, but look at you. Okay, and she doesn't. She doesn't.
So you think you can handle these girls in South Central?
What else?
You think you can handle these girls in South Central? Period.
What else?
Could you pause it, Bernard? Okay, so the wigs.
Again, these clips are all Nate's fault. These are all Nate.
I didn't put this gathering of black women together.
I know.
And I didn't have anything to do with it.
You just showing what you saw. You just showing what you saw. I understand.
This is what you get when you have and collectively as black men we're all to blame to this to a degree. Some of us more than others. Our inability collectively to check the hellish behavior of too many black women. I'm sorry. The greatest impediment to black progress is the behavior and terrible decision-making of too many black women. And black women largely are not going to criticize this. They're either not going to criticize it out of fear, reprisals from the sisterhood, or they won't criticize it because they genuinely don't see a problem with it. They've become so accustomed to this type of errant, horrific behavior on behalf of black women. It's now commonplace. And hey, what's wrong with this? This is, my cousins fight. I fight. There was a video of black women encouraging their daughters to come out and fight on their behalf. Did you see that?
Negative.
Black moms. Yeah, there was this TikTok thing or whatever. Or Instagram. Black moms were saying, hey, such and such, our neighbor wants to fight me. And, she got a daughter. You want to come out and help? Little black girls started pulling their hair back, say, yeah, mom, yeah. Dude,
all right.
It was everywhere.
All right, Nate, we got somebody.
Please. I really would like to finish watching it because it's just a little bit longer.
All right, it's more fisticuffs.
If you don't mind.
All right, and somebody is in the back. Actually, somebody I respect, Little Podcast, is saying that you're conflating cultures and a number of things. So
sure, he can. I do
want to hear from him. We'll unfortunately, upon your request, we will finish. We'll go ahead and finish this video. All right, it's like one more minute of battle royals. So
beautiful.
No. What you mean beautiful? Nothing beautiful here.
It's beautiful because it's going to force people to come to terms with what we're dealing with here. The behavior of too many black women they destroy themselves with their behavior. They destroy other black women's image who are not participating in this type of behavior because this is the standard now. And it's all over the internet. We're literally talking hundreds of thousands of fight videos over the last 25 years. Hundreds of thousands. The primary fight video you will see if you go to search fight videos are black women in America. Fist fighting everybody else.
It is staggering how, when you just type in fight videos or fight compilations, when you just let the algorithm just give you whatever they comes up with when you type in fight. You don't say race, you don't say boy, you don't say girl, man, woman, no, just to go type in fights anywhere that has a search engine that produces fights. You do get a higher percentage of black women fighting than anybody else. Now, somebody could say that that's outside forces doing that. Somebody could argue that, or it could be that there's just more of them fighting. I don't know. I don't know. But I have noticed percentage wise. Yeah, that's what you see the most of. All right, let's play ball. Then we're gonna bring up a detractor who's gonna give you some pushback.
These
Excellent.
girls.
Don't never show no fear.
Oh.
Yeah. Season 3.
That's too much.
Whoa, watch your back. Watch
She
your
ready.
back. Watch your back. Watch your back. Watch your
Watch
back.
your back.
Watch your back. Hold on.
Now, come on, 2 against
All
1.
right, Nate. I saw enough.
All right, sir. No problem.
It's just it ain't gonna get no better, no worse. All right, we got to move on from that. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna bring up. So just to put a bow on that, your overall general point. You see chaos like that from the women when you basically your argument once Black people just bought hook, line, and sinker with the Democratic Party, accepted welfare. The government became the dad. That it incentivized that behavior, and then you end up women raising kids by themselves, and women raise kids by themselves. You end up with a community that breeds this kind of shit. That's your argument in a nutshell.
Absolutely, sir.
All right. Little podcast in the building. Welcome to the show. You did have some pushback to what Nate was saying, and you got the floor, you got the mic. Welcome aboard.
Appreciate you. What's good, bro?
What's up?
I mean, it was kind of long-winded, but the main thing that I had to push back on from what he said was the conflating of cultures, right? I hate when people do this. In order to try to make a point, they'll pull things together and make it seem like it's all one, right? Like, so if you see a Black woman doing anything ratchet, then automatically she's a Democrat, right? If you see a Black woman fighting, then automatically she's a part of the woke culture. I'm not even a part of the woke culture, and I took offense to the fact of you trying to say that any of that behavior had anything to do with wokeness. Because that's not the behavior of people that are actually in the woke community. So I just don't like it when people do this. You can't come in front of hundreds of people on one hand to make it seem like you have this point and you're intelligent and you're worth listening to, and then at the same time you conflate all these things together to confuse people, mischaracterize people. I just don't understand why that's necessary. And it happens way too much in the YouTube space. But before you respond to that, which I'm sure you will, I would like to ask you a question, because I get the video that you played saying that back in the day, whites created Democrats and Blacks were Republicans and all of that. How does voting Republican today help poor people?
You broke up.
He didn't break up on my end. He said the last thing he said was what?
He broke up.
Well, I'll tell you the last thing he said is, how does voting Republican today help poor people?
How does voting Republican help poor people? Voting is not going to help somebody that's poor, sir. What will help somebody that's poor is becoming skilled, finding a trade, becoming proficient in some type of a field of endeavor, HVAC, mechanics, learn how to TIG weld. They make $100 an hour. Learn what the industry I'm in. Learn auto body damage repair. You'll start off making about $26, $27 an hour at a body shop. You go out and you get skilled. The problem with Black America is you sit around voting, thinking voting is supposed to result in some benefit to you to make your life better. Most people, most intelligent people, vote to protect what they've built. And in the problem in the Black community, we're not building things. We build things over here on the right side of the political spectrum. I don't see much building over there going on the left. When you say help poor people, sir, it was Steve Harvey that said the best thing I can do to help poor people is to not be one. He had a very cogent point there. You help poor people by, number one, encouraging them not to get pregnant. Number two, to excel in school, find a trade, don't go to jail, and make wise decisions. That's how you help poor people. You don't help poor people by going into their community and helping single moms not suffer the consequences of their behavior. And look, I love children. I got custody of my children. They were 2 and 5. I absolutely adore children. I adore them. And I don't want to see them suffer. But I know when it comes to suffering, the sooner the suffering starts in the Black community, us pulling away from welfare and single motherhood, and there being, like I said earlier, the significant cultural consequences for bad behavior, especially on the part of women. Those cultural consequences are there for men. The sooner the pain starts, the sooner the pain will be over. And we keep pushing off the pain starting. We need to cut welfare. We need to cut off these programs that help subsidize and promote terrible, irresponsible behavior, particularly among women, and let women suffer the consequences of their terrible decision-making. If a woman wants to be happy and safe and protected, she will qualify herself. She'll be what proper men want in a woman. Black men love getting married, most of them. Black men, Essence magazine in 2017 polled Black men. 57% of Black men want to be married. Another 18% of Black men were open to being married. The rest, 25%, were against. So that's, I believe that's 75% of Black men being for marriage or open to it. Also, the CDC confirmed Black men are the most involved fathers. All these Black conservative men I mentioned, these brilliant men that I absolutely respect and appreciate, they're all great fathers. They brag on their children. They love their children. We've put so much time and investment in our babies. I don't need the Black community to take care of my babies. I do. And then I present my 2 children into America as magnificent examples of what Black people can be. Next question.
This is the other part of YouTube that I hate, is that everybody has talking points. And it don't matter what you ask them, they're going to run down their talking points. The question that was asked was, how does voting for Republicans help poor people?
And I answered that question, sir. I answered. I said it doesn't, the way a poor person gets help is not by voting Republican. They become proficient in a skill and they get in the marketplace and make money. What don't you understand about that? See, this is the problem with the left.
I want you to realize that whole time while you was talking,
sure,
I didn't interrupt you. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
I didn't interrupt you one motherfucking time.
No, you accused me of not answering the question and I answered it.
I did not say that you didn't answer the question.
That's exactly what you said. Okay, you said I didn't answer the question.
So here's what we do.
Okay.
We rewind the tape back. When I didn't say it, I want you to cash at me $100.
Whoa, what's that?
When we rewind the tape back and you realize I never said that you didn't answer my question, I want you to cash at me $100.
Bernard, did he just not say you didn't answer the question?
I thought he said you didn't answer the question. At least I thought you.
Do you see how these guys are?
Okay, so listen.
All the same.
So listen.
Go ahead,
though. Arguing, why not bet me the $100?
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Yeah. I'm not playing this game.
Hold on, wait, hold on. I'll say. Let me say this. To my memory, you did say that. If you didn't say it, then okay, I'll accept that you didn't say it. You could tell me what you did say. I ain't putting $100 on the line because I could have misheard it. I could have misunderstood you.
But not, I'm asking him.
No, I don't think nobody should put $100 on the line because he could have easily misunderstood you. So go ahead. Let's just go ahead and get it right. Okay. So what did you say, or what's the point are you trying to make? Let's just go there.
So this is what I mean. What I said was this. I said, when you ask people a question, they have their talking points. I never said you didn't answer the question. You cut me off as soon as I start talking. I said, this is the problem in this space. When you ask people a question, they have their talking points. They want to run their talking points down. I answered the question. I never said you didn't.
Gotcha.
I don't appreciate not being able to make my $100, but I'm going to let that slide.
Thank you.
At the end of the day, this is what I mean. You want to spit out what you want to spit out so hard that you're not even listening. So I'm gonna ask you nicely because I don't like doing this arguing with people online, bro. Can we have a conversation? If we can't, then I don't even want to do this, bro. I don't. Listen to me like I listen to you. The point is this. The simple answer to the question, which you did give, is that it does not help them voting Republican. My next question is, how does voting Republican help working class people?
Jesus Christ.
See, you the one who made this all about people voting Democrat. You the one who just put the video on screen and want to go all the way back to 1914 and talk about how black people used to vote Republican and white people created the Democratic Party to go against black people and all that. And what we get from that is we need to be voting Republican. So instead of me asking you why everybody should vote Republican, I want to break it down and give you a chance to tell each individual demographic of black people, because we're not a fucking monolith, why they should vote Republican. It's okay to say that you don't know why. It's okay to say that you don't necessarily have an answer for it, that you just believe people should vote Republican, but don't make it seem like I'm asking dumbass questions, because I'm speaking for the people who you telling to vote Republican.
First of all, I've never told anyone to vote Republican in this space.
So
And I've said that several times over the years.
What was the point of the soliloquy? Why are you shaming people about being Democratic? Because wait a minute, before you answer that question, because you just talked about black fathers being the most involved. What percentage of black men do you think are Democratic?
Approximately 80% in the last election voted Democrat.
What percentage of those black men, 80%, do you think consist of those involved black fathers?
Well,
involved, but handicapped with a hand behind with a hand tied behind their back, because involved. It did not say kids living in the household with them, so they can be involved, but still a dysfunctional relationship where the women are over there with the kids and the man are over here and he's on weekend dad status. That's why I don't quote that study that said black fathers are the most involved, because if the mother and the father are not together at a rate that's so small, it's like, yeah, he got the kid 10% of the time. The kid don't turn out right. It's gonna be 90% his fault. I mean, it's gonna be 100% his fault if the kid don't turn out right. So it's like, yes, I always interpreted that as, okay, if black men are most involved, they're most involved with a hand tied behind their back. Well, why is that hand tied behind their back? That's where I'm for sure Nate and myself, I would take it back to when the black family started breaking up, and that did come into play when basically LBJ, I had them niggas voting for me for the next 100 years, however long he said, when they bought into certain policies and certain liberal or democratic or leftist ideals and went that way, and then we see the outcome from it. I make that argument. I stand on that one, but I'll let y'all have it.
Let me answer this once and for all, because the problem is the mentality of leftists like him. Okay, the problem is.
Hold on, wait, bro. Hold on, wait. Time on, Nate. Nate. Okay, let me just. Are you a leftist? Do you consider yourself a leftist?
Let him keep going. I like that. Please, can I, Bernard? Can you give me verbal confirmation that I can react to this video?
Yes, you can react to this video.
Go ahead. I'm a leftist. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're a leftist, definitely. Because you keep demanding a party to appeal specifically to you, poor people. Why are you so preoccupied with poor people? Why are you so preoccupied with working class?
Hold on, wait, let him. Hold on, hold on. He Nate. Wait, time out. Hold on. Nate has let you get it all out. So just let him go on another spiel and then just let him get it out. He
it's
did
similar to when a few weeks ago a guy was up here talking about little big Nate. What should our response be when a person of color is mistreated by a white man? And I said to him, I said, you sound insane. I am in South Carolina handling my business, taking care of my family, and I'm supposed to be concerned about a person of color being mistreated by a white man. This is insanity. And this is why, as leftists, you all end up getting nowhere. If you want a reason to vote for the Republican Party, I'll give you some reasons. Whether you're poor, working class, black, white, whatever. You want to take home more of your money? You should vote Republican. Lowering nominal tax rates, lowering the corporate tax rate, which usually results in more jobs being made. You know, the money goes into R&D, goes into producing better products. The business grows, they can hire more people. Jobs are usually good, you know, according to most people, you know, unless you're a Marxist and a leftist and a Democrat. You want your children to be able to get out of these failing public schools. The public schools are run by the Democrat Party and the teachers union. They have a complete lock, and they're against any type of plans that would take tax dollars out of the public schools, put it back in the hands of the taxpayers so they can take their children to schools that don't have transition closets for 8-year-olds and tampon dispensers in the boys' bathroom, which is what the left is now doing. You want to vote Republican? A reason to vote Republican is to secure your border. The Republican establishment oftentimes has been for open borders, which is why a lot of grassroots Republicans hate the Republican establishment, but grassroots Republicans are for a closed border. Unchecked illegal immigration has devastating effects on Black America. It affects our wages. It puts a tremendous amount of burdens on the public school system. From what I understand, Black people were getting firebombed out in Los Angeles by MS-13 and illegal immigrant gangs. Also, they take jobs that your teenage Black children could be occupying, and maybe even you yourself. My God, abortion. I mean, dude, the list goes on and on. I have never told Black men to vote Republican. I've told Black men to vote their interests. I say, look at the platform of the Democrat Party, which is promoting homosexuality, the self-mutilating trans folks, pedophilia. These are things they're promoting now. Locking our children into failing schools, okay? Promoting feminists to take over states. Stacey Abrams, 300-pound Black feminist, want to hand over the governor's mansion to her and her entire campaign of homosexuals. Her campaign, Bernard, I showed you the article on your show, that one of her campaign heads said that our campaign is all Black and brown and mostly LGBTQ. That's who you want to put in charge of the governor's mansion of the state of Georgia. The list goes on and on about why you should, if you're interested, vote Republican. You're looking for specific things that would be aimed at a Black person. I'm telling you, you're probably not going to get that in the Republican Party. You did get it from Donald Trump. There were specific things aimed at Black people. And the majority, unfortunately, of Black people, even though we did get 20% of the Black male vote and 10% the Black female vote, there were things that Donald Trump specifically aimed at Black people. And the final thing was talk of a platinum plan. And what did the majority of Black people do? They spit in his face, okay? And then when Biden was handed the election, I'm not going to say STOLE, that'll get Bernard struck like it got my channel struck. Black women were dancing in the street and screaming and laughing, and so were weak, effeminate Negro males. I could go on for hours, the benefits of voting on a more right-leaning political ticket. If you're looking for specifics aimed at Blacks, I'm not going to have a lot of things for you, again, unless we talk about Donald Trump. But there are things that the Republican Party stands for that absolutely benefit Black men that are invested in this country and are trying to achieve something. You call it talking points. I've been laying out these facts for years in this space. Sorry.
So, the reason why I asked you that question, right? Honestly, I didn't form the question the way I should have. What I should have said was, how does poor people or working class people voting for Republicans change what you're saying about Black women? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't.
I never said.
I didn't say that you did.
Then why are you asking me that question?
But at the same time, while you're talking about Black women, you're showing us a video of what the Republican Party and the Democratic Party and all of this, and you're conflating black women's behavior with the Democratic Party.
Well, no, I can. Well, yes, there is a relationship.
So
I've said several times in this space over the last couple of years, black women are not the least desirable women. Have you heard that trope? Have you heard that stated? All right. Let me tell you why that is stated. Okay. Black women are the least desirable women probably in the universe, American black women. It's not because they're black. It's not because they're inherently bad people. It's because they've been under the tutelage of the left for 70 years. The left tells them you can be 300 pounds and beautiful, no fat shaming. The left tells them have all of your children out of wedlock if you want to. I don't even say 70% of black children are born out of wedlock. What I say now is almost all black children are born out of wedlock. That is a factual statement, and it is terrifying. Okay? This behavior was fostered by liberalism, free love. You tell women in the 60s and 70s free love, they go out, they become promiscuous, they become worthless. The results of free love is pregnancy, unwanted pregnancies. You give them welfare, not that they have to get up under the leadership of the man that they allowed to get pregnant. They can go get on the state. The state is going to destroy them and their children. Or they can abort the baby and become a murderer and have to live with that hanging over their head for the rest of their lives. And the more murders you commit, the more easier it becomes and the more evil you become as a woman.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
When we talk about Democrat, right? Is there a UK version of Democrat?
I'm not concerned about the UK. I'm here in America. Don't ask me about that.
Okay, so here's the problem with what you're saying. The same shit that you're talking about black women over here applies to those women over there.
What does that have to do with us, sir?
That maybe it's not a Democrat problem.
No, it is. Why are you so worried about evil being associated with a political party that's promoting
the same reason why
rape of children?
The same reason why you was worried about people associating with white people. You didn't want you.
So you're worried about the Democrat Party then?
You literally just said on this panel before I came up and said, let me paraphrase because I don't remember exactly. You talk a lot. You basically said it's crazy for anybody to try to paint all white people with a broad brush.
Mm-hmm.
But that's exactly what you're doing.
And I'll tell you why.
You said Democrat, you said woke, you said
yes, sir.
Women, you do it. So I'm
sir. I do consider them all the same.
So what I'm saying is this: maybe Democrat and Republican is some bullshit, curtain closed, hand behind the curtain, never mind the hand behind the curtain type bullshit, right? Well,
no, I disagree.
That they put up. Okay, but you got your opinion and perspectives out. So if I can't get mine out, then that's just you disrespecting.
Go ahead, you got it. You got it.
Oh my God, get over it.
You got it. Go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
I'm giving you the respect.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Little podcast got it. Go ahead.
The fact of the matter is, I don't even fuck with politics at all. I think all the motherfuckers is shady. I don't trust not a one. Right? I look at politicians the same way how I look at a mobster. Once you get in, you in. You don't get to change the game. You got to play it the way it's laid out for you to play. It's that simple. So I don't trust them all. I don't vote. I don't fuck with none of them. But here's what I do know. I know some people that vote Democratic, and I know some people that vote Republican. And both of them got bags, fathers in their lives, own businesses, all of that, right? So they don't have anything to do with it to me. And the reason why I was asking you that question, the question I was because of the presentation that you put forward. You open the door for those questions when you're talking about black people previously being Republicans, white people creating the Democratic Party, and all of that. And my questions were just to try to figure out what you may have, to say about how it would affect people today. Those girls in that video, I don't think they even vote, right? They in there fighting and shit. The motherfuckers ain't taking no time to go to no polls, right? The only polls they go to is the ones that they climb up and down on, right? But at the same time, though, Even if they was voting, there's no guarantee that they wouldn't be voting Republican.
Sir,
come on, I can't go with you on that. Hold on, time
hold
out.
on.
I'll go with you. I'll go with you on they don't vote. I can't. You know damn well they voting for the Democratic Party. Though.
If they vote, sir, can I respond?
If they vote,
I've seen some assholes in this space on YouTube that vote Republican. And I wouldn't.
I agree. I agree.
My mama, my nobody around them motherfuckers. So I'm just saying, I'm not gonna make it seem like just because you check the R on the box that you are somehow in a moral superiority over everybody else.
Single black women who get into fights in a stripper outfit, they ain't voting Republican.
They have nothing to do.
I'm not gonna battle you on that. He said he ain't taking that shit.
So anyway, go ahead and respond, Nate. I'm gonna get to the super chat. Somebody was asking about the super chats. I do see everybody who super chatted. I will get to them. But go ahead, Nate.
So you have a problem with me connecting all this abhorrent behavior by what amounts to a pretty significant portion of black women today to their relationship to the Democrat Party. And it is absolutely because of that. In the Democrat Party, there are no standards. In the Democrat Party, everything is permissible. In the Democrat Party, men can have babies. You don't understand how dangerous the ideology is over there. Okay. There is no group of people that have given more of themselves to the liberal leftist. I don't even know how you could defend the idea of being woke. Everybody with a brain these days says, and shout out to Donald Trump, everything woke turns to shit. Liberalism, wokeism, progressivism, Democrat ideology are all synonyms for each other. It's all an ideology where everything is permissible. Their motto is burn down the patriarchy over there. You know, I don't know if you're married. I don't know if you have a woman. I don't know if you have children. But if you have children, you're supposed to be a patriarch. And you have a problem with me crushing and destroying a political party whose motto is burn down the patriarchy, which means burn down your ability to be a man, to head up your household, to defend your woman and your children, to be a part of a thriving, healthy community of people who share the same type of thinking. Destroy and burn down the patriarchy. That comes out of the left. All of this evil, all you see about mutilating children sexually now is coming out of the left. The whole trans kids movement comes out of the left. The gynocracy exists and lives under the umbrella of the left. That doesn't mean that there aren't feminists on the right, but feminists are dealt with on the right. Feminists are punished on the right. Go look at what happened with Tomi Lahren a couple of years ago. Look at what happens with Meghan McCain when she opens up her mouth. There is no pushback to feminist behavior on the left. These women, like I demonstrated with Stacey Abrams, they're promoted to positions of leadership. You're rewarded. Goddamn Ketanji Brown Jackson, our first Black female Supreme Court justice, who's been a woman for over 60 years of her life, got before the subcommittee who votes to see if she's approved as SCOTUS and couldn't tell you what a woman was because she's a woke progressive leftist. And what did Black women do? Created a video.
All right. Okay.
Ketanji Brown Jackson.
All right, Nate, don't sing that. Don't sing that.
Sorry.
Yeah, we good. Yeah, I don't want to hear you sing. Yeah, I know.
I agree with
you. Felt that one in your soul. Let me get to my super chats real quick. Just a couple of them. Shout out to Hoop Jargon Media in the building. Says I ran it back. Oh, you just took that. I had one up and you took it down. RM. Hold on. Let me put. Well, I guess that's in order. I guess you got it. Okay, if you got them all star, just go in order then. Okay, Hoop Jargon Media in the building. He says, so now Buddy is on the left now. Not sure what you mean by that. I think you're saying Lil Podcast is on the left. He said
these last $2. I'm not gonna lose.
All right, and don't no. We're gonna hold off on the drops, even though I was feeling that. We can hold off on the drops. I want to get through this faster and get back to the debate. Go to the next one. Sir Tyson in the building says, why is he implying this? Yeah, this is what I wanted to get to. Yeah, why is he implying being poor synonymous with black people? Go ahead and answer that one.
I'm pretty sure he had to be talking about Buddy.
No. He was talking about you because no, wait, hold on. I can explain it, Nate.
This is the problem. People have selective hearing, man. I'm
hold on. I can explain.
I'm not gonna deal with it though.
I can explain why he said that, because the first thing you said when you were saying that Nate was basically trying to embolden people to vote Republican, you immediately said, how does voting Republican help poor people? I guess what was assumed there, and I will admit I assumed this, that by poor people you were basically saying poor black people, thus equating black and poor together, as if so. Explain how it's going to help black people. That's how I took it.
And that's
if we took it wrong, we took it wrong. You can tell us. You can tell us that.
That's too bad for them. I don't got time for that.
All right, so that's not what you meant. You were just worried. You was worried about poor albinos.
To me, this is my thing. I probably shouldn't say this because it's probably not fair. But if you're even on a panel and you don't know that there's more white poor people in America than black, you shouldn't even be on the panel.
Yeah,
so
we
know that people's assumptions. I don't got time for that.
We know in terms of population percentage that white people, they make up the majority of poor people because they make up the majority in the country. We get that. We get that. all right. But I think it was a fair assumption that a black man who came up, we in the black manosphere. It was a fair assumption that you probably was talking about black people.
Right. Wait, stop. See what you just said? You said a fair assumption that I was talking. That's not what he said. He said making it synonymous. Talking about poor black people does not make poor synonymous to black because they actually exist. That's a dumb statement. It just is.
He should have put it in the form of a question. He should have said, "Are you implying that black people is synonymous with poor?" Or he should have put it in the form. I'll give you that. He should have put it in the form of a question. I'll give you that. All right.
When you're done, Bernard, I got a clip down there if you'd like to play.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll get to that. Hoop Jargon Media Network in the building says, I ran it back. He didn't say it. He insinuated it. He's talking about an old debate that y'all was on. We already passed that. I think it's okay. We'll get past that. Black Wizard 80's in the building. Hopefully you're saying this is a super chat that you thought was being blocked or something, but because I don't know if you said you was typing in the super chat and it wasn't going or it was blocked. Hopefully this was the one and hopefully nothing is blocked. But Black Wizard 80's in the building. He says, are you trying to say the logical conclusion of liberalism is lawlessness? That is directed to Nate.
What liberalism has become, Mr. Ados, today, liberalism promoted the summer of love, where 23 black children under the age of 12 were murdered in 2020. The only people that paid attention to it was Fox News. Sean Hannity did a story on all these black babies who had been murdered during this nightmare, the summer of love, where we saw our crime rates, our murder rates explode in this country. Crime was on a precipitous drop since the 1990s, largely due to black men no longer engaging to the degree that they were, the horrible behaviors they did during the 80s and 90s, the crack epidemic, gang violence, menace to society, these movies, the culture. Black men, a lot of black men had left that behind and opted to go ahead and get their education, become productive, and walk away from that shit. And black men have benefited from that until, of course, the liberals, the Luciferian left, promoted the summer of love, where BLM, Black Lesbian Misandrists, more Democrats, BLM, the funding arm of it is called Act Blue, the Democrat Party. So the death of black men was used to raise billions of dollars to fund who, sir? The Democrat Party. Democrat Party candidates all over the country had money funneled into their campaigns from Act Blue. So causing $10 billion in damage, the murder of dozens of black people over a couple of year period, helped Democrats get elected in the 2020 election. Is that enough of a correlation for you, sir?
No.
These are facts. I'm not trying to show you up, bro. These are facts.
You was responding to him. I wasn't paying no attention, but I would like to know who the president.
Whoa, you weren't paying attention to my answer?
Because
it was Black Wizard Ados who asked you the question.
I just proved the correlation between the two. But go ahead.
Well, you're assuming that he holds the same exact position as Black Wizard Ados.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but no, he did ask, why are you drawing a conclusion between this black cultural behavioral issues and the Democrat Party? Act Blue, which was the funding arm of BLM, funneled their hundreds of millions of dollars into Democrat Party campaign coffers so they could run for office, because nobody really wanted to fund the Democrats because Donald Trump had the country humming along and doing so well until COVID.
Okay, so here's the thing really quickly to that. I'm not going to disagree with you. BLM, it's not black people, right? So that's a few.
It's not black people?
No, that's not black people. That's a few gay chicks, I'm assuming, or some shit. That ain't, it's not black people. So they don't all black people. Actually, they don't speak for living black people at all. They only
do you know at the height of their support, they had over 80% support in Black America? Do you know the last I checked, which was sometime last year, after all the fucking criminal shit and all the corruption and the graft and the theft.
I don't fuck with it.
Let me finish. Let me finish. They still have a 66% support rating among blacks after all the criminal shit that's come out about them.
Well, we know black people don't read, bro.
The majority of black people support.
In general, black people don't read. It does not matter. So, okay, we know that. It's cool.
Bro, I'm proving my point to you.
Oh, I got
that's
you.
all
bro.
I'm doing.
I got you. But you said in 2020 we had a crime rate explosion. I just want to know, FYI, for the people watching, who was the president at that time?
It was Donald Trump. But how you gonna blame? Donald Trump tried to send troops into Chicago and other cities. The Democrat mayor said no because they wanted the city to burn. They wanted it to burn. Oh, go ahead.
All right.
You got any other questions for me? Because I'd love to get to this clip. Because
all right, yeah. So no, we can pull up the clip now.
All right.
I was trying to respond before you played the super chats, but okay. Oh God, this one.
Yes, sir. Beautiful.
Jesus is the strength of my life. How long the manosphere been around?
Hey, let me go ahead and play this real quick, because
you on aren't you? You got a show on Angry Man's show, Toxic Avenger, right? I mean, on his. Hey, well, you
have a show on there too.
You got Angry Man on speed dial. You don't ask how long the manosphere been around. You right close to the source. Ask, you can ask.
And you can ask Angry Man what he thinks about the
Democrats.
He'll give you a definitive answer.
I'm asking the question sarcastically because it's like it's 2023 and this video is still making the rounds on channels that's getting 200, 300, 400, 500 viewers live. Like,
yes,
haven't seen this video.
Yes, and because you're not making the connection, we got to play it again.
I played this video 2 weeks into my channel, which was 2 years ago.
Then why are you asking, is there a relationship between Democrats and the dysfunction in the black community?
Because I'm talking about, that's not what oh my fucking God.
Sir, you did say
I literally said that you can't paint all. That's what I said. You said don't paint all white people. All I said was don't paint all Democrats.
Well, no. I am going to paint the entire. I'm going to paint the entire Democrat Party.
Man, that makes you
the entire party. The leadership of the party supports this shit.
Cool. I'm not, bro.
I'm going to paint him that.
I never said he was wrong.
Raise your hand if you're married. None of you are married. Raise your hand if you would like to be married to your baby's father.
Only one of them raised their hand. If we have 16-year-old young black women who are moms and on welfare, raised by their moms who were single mothers and on welfare, how does going to war with the white man fix this? This is a culture of welfare, victimhood, and dependency, okay? Subsidized and fostered by primarily the left, okay? The left is who fights for these women's rights to be on welfare, be unproductive, and have their children out of wedlock. Largely, the Republican Party is against this. Conservatives are completely against this. This is fostered and supported on the left, sir.
One. The rest of you who don't plan to get married, why don't you plan to get married? I'd like to know that.
You already have your child to think about, and then a whole family to care for. You know, it's a lot of responsibility.
A whole family to care for, that's a lot of responsibility. Well, how can she care for her child without a man? It's welfare, it's the left, it's the Democrat Party that ensures she will be able to do that. And this message has been spread throughout the Black community. And because Black men, and I'm blaming Black men for this, Black men won't call out this behavior, check this horrible ideology that way too many Black women have, we have a community that is never going to collectively move forward. Okay? The greatest impediment, the most dangerous foe, the most formidable enemy of America right now, it's not BRICS, it's not those 5 countries coming up with their own currency to offset the dollar. No. Our greatest enemy right now is the scourge of single motherhood and the damage it causes to the peoples it produces. And it's not just Black single motherhood. 30% of white children are now born out of wedlock. When that gets to 50, 60, the country's finished. It's finished. Because all of America will look like Black America then.
Then you don't want the commitments. I wouldn't want no man holding me down.
A man holding me down. Where does that come from? That's feminism. That comes straight out of the 2nd and 3rd wave feminist playbook. Marriage, the institution of marriage, you're being held down as a woman? We don't think that on the right. We sure as hell don't promote those ideals on the right. Women celebrate coming up under a man's leadership over on this side. That's why so many of the men are married over here.
Because I think I can make it as a single parent.
She can make it with welfare. She can make it with the support of the state. She can make it with Democrats telling her any behavior you engage in is okay, no matter how destructive it is to her, her children, our community, and our country.
Don't you think you might need help in raising that baby from a man?
Not really.
Not really? That little boy doesn't need his father as an example? This is what happens, gentlemen, when you give women carte blanche and control over their lives. Women, I've said this several times, you are not supposed to be in control of your life. You're supposed to go from your household with your mom and your dad and be handed over to the care and the control, really, of a man that your father has vetted for you. Okay? And that almost never happens in the Black community. I'm telling you, I'm not calling you a pro-Black, but whoever is a pro-Black and a hotep and a leftist, I'm telling you, if you don't correct Black women's behavior, you don't care about Black women. Coming up here and trying to get me not to show these videos or talk about the dysfunction that exists among so many of these women, I didn't say all of them, but a significant portion of them, is not going to help anything. As a matter of fact, it's to the detriment of these women, not calling out this horrible behavior. If you don't correct them, you don't care about them. I'm sorry.
I didn't have a father. My father wasn't in the home. So, you know, it really, male figures are not substantially important in the family.
Did you hear that? Male figures are not substantially important in a family. Where did she get this shit? She got it from her mother. She got it from the culture in 1986, Newark, New Jersey, which is welfare, crime, and Democrat ideology. Who's been in control of Newark for probably the last 60, 70, 80, 100 years? The left. All these violence-ridden, crime-ridden, dysfunctional cities are usually run by Black Democrats. Name the city: Atlanta, Chicago, New Orleans, Baltimore, all run by Black Democrat women. How do you not see the connection, sir, between Democrat Party politics and ideology and this destructive? This 16-year-old girl is smart enough to use the word substantially not important. And she used it correctly. 16, little 1-year-old baby, and she can tell you, look you in your face. She can look at that goddamn white man, Bill Moore's in his face, and say, men aren't substantially important to family. What do I need a man for? I got the government. I got subsidies. I don't need it. Wonder what happened to that little boy. He'd be 4 right now? 1986. He'd be in his early 30s. I wonder what he did. I wonder what he became. Wonder how many children he produced out of wedlock.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got on that. But, you know, you asked me, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
Well, yeah, I was gonna. Well, no, go ahead. Well, no, actually, no, I'm gonna go right to the super chat because Black Wizard, I don't want to lose the point where he's at before we move on. But Black Wizard is in the building. Says, it sounds like you agree with my last super chat. If so, do you also agree that the logical conclusion of conservatism is an authoritarian state? If freedom begets more freedom, doesn't order beget more order? If not, why not?
All right. No, authoritarianism, the modern day conservative party came out of this. It came out of opposition by businessmen, conservatives, and Republicans to the New Deal in the early 1930s. They were opposed to all that government spending. I'll be honest with you, a couple of things I agreed with coming out of the New Deal, but that's another conversation. Today, conservatism, most conservatives believes, hey man, do you. Conservatives aren't trying to take away the right of a homosexual to be a homosexual, the right of a trans person to destroy and mutilate the gift that God gave them, their body, their mind. Go ahead and do whatever you choose. Just don't impose your mental illness and your sick shit on me, and you better stay the fuck away from my children, because it's going to cost you your life. It's going to cost you your fucking life. You try and take my baby, my children are grown, but I'm speaking for the men with little children who might have some white suburban bitch try to take their babies to a convicted pedophile strip show at the local library. That's going to end up costing these monsters their fucking lives. You keep playing with men's children. You don't fucking play with a man's babies. Because it's death. There ain't nothing to live for. You're going to fuck with my children. And that's what the left is doing. How the hell do you not see this shit? They literally are promoting men having... Bernard, I've played the video on your shit. An 11-year-old boy stripping at a bar with grown men coming up bringing him money. And the pedos and the homosexuals drinking beer in the crowd. This is what's going on. And you want to try to separate the party that's promoting this from what they're doing? I won't allow it. Because nobody else is promoting this evil but them. You may know some nice Democrats, sir. You may know some productive Democrats, but I need you to ask those Democrats, what are they doing to oppose a party that is promoting the rape of children now? There was a video I played on my channel, a little 13-year-old boy. Did you see this video, Bernard? 13-year-old
No.
boy in high heels in some patent leather stripper outfit, twerking and gyrating all over the stage. 2 grown black men hyping him up as he dances and splits and twerks and pops his ass in the air. That would be offensive enough if it was a 13-year-old girl. Everybody in that fucking facility should be hung if it was a 13-year-old girl. It was a 13-year-old boy. A boy. Twerking, gyrating. Look, gentlemen down there at the bottom. Sorry, sir. You're wrong. This is coming out of the Democrat Party, and that party needs to be punished for this. I never said vote Republican. I never said you need to love Republicans. I never said the Republicans love you. We don't worry about being loved on this side of the political spectrum. We worry about being our elected officials doing what the fuck we tell them. I don't care about making them celebrities like Maxine Waters and Jim Clyburn. They're fucking celebrities over there. And they live like celebrities, okay? They're all over the talk shows and everywhere. Our conservative politicians, they're worried about being primaried by us and doing what the fuck we tell them. That's how they live their lives. And Donald Trump in 2022 primaried 93% of his primaries. He won his MAGA or his MAGA coalition.
All right, Nate, we getting far upfield. I do want to work a little podcast back in. If you could, I don't know what part. And you may have sent us to Patreon with some of your commentary. So those of you, shout out to all the Patreons. You might want to join the Patreon list if you're not able to catch this full show. You're not able to catch this full show. It'll probably be on Patreon. But no, little podcast. I know a lot was said. Anywhere in there you want to respond, have at it.
The funny thing about it is this, though, right? Because in this country, we have a lot of people that say they're Christians, and a lot of those people who are on the brother's hit list, they call themselves Christians too. So should we paint all Christians with the same brush? Are we going to hang them all? They all got to go, right? My thing is this. You say, do I see it? I do. I don't pay a lot of attention to it. I don't watch the news. I get my news from podcasts and whatever Instagram shows me. I do follow News One on Instagram. I don't watch it because it's not in line for me and mine. It is what it is. When my son told me that he go to school with somebody who has chosen to identify as a cat, I just said, son, hurry up and graduate. Right, that's the most you can do, son. Just hurry up and graduate. Make sure you get your grades straight so you can graduate on time and get away from that. You know what I'm saying? And then we can focus on moving forward with your adult life because it's nothing we can do about that.
I disagree. There is something we can do about it.
I'm pretty sure you do. But the point is this: it's nothing I'm gonna do about it. I'm not sacrificing myself. That's cool. I'm not martyring myself. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? As long as you ain't impede on me and mine, I don't really care what you got going on because there's nothing I'm gonna do about it.
Well, sir, they're coming to impede on you and yours. I'm telling you. They're coming for you.
And your point, if I could just get through something without you interrupting. I know you to start right now.
Go ahead.
Just give me a second.
Go ahead.
So all of the things that you can talk about as far as Black women, believe me, I know. That's why I was here in the beginning. But once I got here and I started seeing it's a lot of channels. I was on Facebook. I thought I was the only person talking about Black women as far as their impact on the community and their impact on Black boys and even Black daughters for that matter, and in relationships. And when I came to YouTube, I realized, oh shit, it's a lot of channels, right? And they know about a lot of this stuff I know about too, including that last video that we showed, which was one of the first videos I ever showed. But now it's just starting to look like vitriol at this point. At this point, it's just like everybody just got talking points and everybody just want to run their scripts, through and through. Nobody really actually wants to have conversations, like real conversations where you say, okay, what can you really do about it? And then when you do, not you, brother, but a lot of these cats in this space say dumb shit like Black people just need to stop voting for Democrats. What is that going to do for black people? How is that going to change anything? Ooh, everybody seems to think that if you put the Republicans in place, it's going to be different. But like I said, in 2020, when the crime rate went up, we had a Republican president. Republicans have been around for a long time. They in places where it's shit happening too. They're in places where it's drugs, meth, fentanyl. They're in places where it's guns, violence, murder. So that's what I'm saying. To me, when people try to play the political shit, it's like that's the lowest standard of defense. You could say, what do we win by fighting white people? I don't think we can win. We outnumber. But at the same time, if you really wanted to be honest about it, which I think most black men on YouTube don't, they started all of it. Whether you say white supremacy, whether you say feminism, whether you say transism, gayism, any of all these isms you want to throw out here, all this bullshit that you're complaining about, didn't a motherfucker that look like me didn't start that shit. And they ain't the ones pushing it. They ain't the ones facilitating it. I don't give a damn if it is the Democrats. So I know we got to focus on our own house, right? We concerned about our own house. That's why we all here to have conversations about our own house. So we're going to talk about the women, and we're going to talk about the men. We're going to talk about the children. I got you. I'm all for it. But when I know a person that I know as woke, and I know this is the type of person that's super spiritual and is with her husband and got her kids, and her kids is into Hebrew Israelites and all this other type of stuff like that, and they ain't twerking, they ain't making on Instagram, taking pictures all goddamn day. When I know people that are really woke, and then we see woke be hijacked by white people and deformed in the way that it is now, and then people want to trivialize being woke. When it's like, no, it's like rap. Rap was one thing. It got hijacked and turned into everybody needs to be a gangster rapper, right? So hip hop went from this beautiful thing to what we see it is now. Same thing with being woke. Same thing with being a Christian, even though I could argue against Christian, but I don't want to. I understand the purpose of religion, so I won't argue against it. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of these people that subscribe to the BS that you're talking about right now claim Christianity. So that's what I'm saying. It's like at the end of the day, I don't want to demonize the parties, whether it's the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, whether it's Christian or Islam, you know what I'm saying, whether it's woke or whatever. I don't want to demonize the party. I want to be able to say, hey, these specific people that assign themselves to this particular ideology, they are a problem, right? And the most I could say, because I'm not gonna do shit. I'm not gonna lie, I ain't gonna do shit. But my offer to people would be, man, listen, facilitate building communities where people like that look like us, right? That have the kind of ideology we have can come and stay, you know what I'm saying? And create those Zions, as I call them, where you can have the nuclear families and the good schools and the you know, the religions and all the other stuff that you need. Because, brother, believe me, I don't like the shit that you're talking about. I don't like it, and I'm not blind to it. But as a person who suffers from anxiety and depression, I cannot spend my day talking about this shit all day. It's depressing. So what I try to do, try to have conversations, talk about the good, you know, try to bring some sort of balance to the conversation and say, hey man, look, I'm with you, but let's not conflate, because the woke community, they did a lot for me. They made me see things that I didn't want to see. The manosphere did a lot for me. Watching Kevin Samuels did a lot for me. Listening to, I don't even want to mention him because I'm in tour with him, but rocking with Angry Man, you know what I'm saying? Fuck, I'm into him. Fuck it, I'm gonna give him his props. Listening to Anton Daniels, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit did shit. It changed the way I saw the world, right? It changed the way I saw myself. And so just like I don't like it if somebody tries to demonize the manosphere. You know what I'm saying? Is there some assholes here who I want to hit in the mouth? I swear to God, yes, put me in the room with them. I'm swinging first, right? But at the same time, I'm not going to demonize the whole manosphere or Red Pill or Christians or anybody else. That's all I was trying to say, brother.
Well,
nothing you said, really, to be honest.
We have a fundamental disagreement in ideology, and that's fine. You mentioned Angry Man. He's a conservative. And I know he would not classify himself as woke. You mentioned Anton Daniels. He's a conservative. He would never classify himself as woke. Even Kevin Samuels, if you listen to the last 6 months of his content, would sprinkle in there, yeah, these liberals, these leftists and liberalism. He was getting on the bandwagon, being opposed to what I've deemed as the Luciferian left. Sir, we just have a fundamental disagreement in ideology, and that's fine. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to stop trying to destroy this party. I want the Democrat Party destroyed because they now promote the violation of children. And I want the Republican establishment, not the Republican Party. Republican Party, for the most part, is fine. But the Republican establishment on Capitol Hill, that needs to be destroyed too. I want both of those entities destroyed. The reason I want the entire Democrat Party destroyed is because they're comfortable mutilating and promoting this sick filth towards children. And that, to me, I draw the line at. I draw the line. No one can come up here and tell me about any good they've done when they're promoting this sick shit towards our children. All they're trying to do is grow their population. And the way they do that is giving the adult members of that mentally ill community access to the children so they can harm them. Then the children will grow up to be just like them. They want to expand their numbers. And I'm going to stand in the breach on that. I don't care what comes. I don't care who has a problem with it. I'm ready to fight for this shit. You are not going to promote this filth to American children. There was a teacher, white suburban teacher, who took down her American flag and had little children, some of them black, pledging allegiance to a pride flag. Pledging allegiance to a gay flag. That's part of woke culture. So you may want to look at what woke culture has devolved into. You may not want to associate yourself with.
What color was the teacher?
What?
What color was the teacher?
She was a white suburban feminist leftist with rainbow suspenders who said, yeah, I've taken down the American flag and now the children will pledge allegiance to this flag. What would you do? I don't know if you have children, but you said you did. What if your 8-year-old son came home and said, Daddy, my teacher had me pledge allegiance to a gay flag today? Now you say, hey, I can't really do nothing, they're not really coming for me. I worry about me and mine, bruh. They're coming for you and yours. They just are. So maybe, again, with all due respect, maybe we got to do something about it.
You can take your kids out of that school, move around. I mean,
that school is spreading throughout schools.
Listen, me and Anton are literally like, we don't get along. He's very disrespectful. I definitely want to be in the room with him. But at the same time, I never suggested that him or Angry Man was woke, and we've had our battles about it. At the same time, I don't think every motherfucker, just because they got some money, are good people. A lot of these people that's promoting all of this, crazy kid stuff, a lot of them got some money. Right? So, you know what I mean? So again, the same way they be trying to tell me don't broad paint capitalists, right? Because all capitalists ain't bad. I'm like, that's all I'm saying, brother. For whatever reason you want to be disagreeing, I don't disagree with nothing that you're really saying. I'm just saying, to me, if the Democratic Party didn't exist, this is what thinking people do. If the Democratic Party didn't exist, this shit would still be happening. So it's not a democratic thing.
Well,
it would still be happening. You know how I know? Wait, you know how I know? Because you just played a video, or had the brother play the video, where you said they created the Democratic Party in what year?
1820.
1820. Mm-hmm. So you seem like a well-read brother. Do you think that homosexuality or pedophilia started in 1820?
Sir, I'm not saying that.
It's a question, so you can just give me a yes or no.
No, I don't think it
okay,
is.
So my point is, whether or not the Democratic Party existed or not, those people existed, and they would still be trying to push this agenda. So again, it don't have anything to do with that. That's the smoke screen that they put up in front of everybody else to keep people divided. right? Because the worst thing
Existing-
you can do is have a unified America where they was really knowing everything that was in those laws and knowing exactly what they could do as far as taking down the government and all of that. That's the last thing they want, right? So you create the smoke screen. Bloods, Crips, Democrats, Republicans, shit ain't no goddamn different. They all some fucking terrorists in my book, and they all can kiss my ass. If anybody was to try to pull that shit on my kids, then my kids would just get out of their school. It'd be that simple.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna. I gotta get to my super chat. And Black Wizard 80s, you don't gotta remind me. Well, I mean that's okay. You can remind me, but I do get to all the super chats. I got some RM basically stars all of them and then clicks on. Actually, RM start pulling them up now. I'll get to the super chats now. But watch you pull those up. It is a difference in saying that that gay people have always existed versus when the Democratic Party came into existence. Like, yeah, they always existed, but there are certain tools, vehicles, political tools or whatnot that allow them to push their agenda more effectively. So that's what he's fighting against, not the existence of gay people, not the existence of the LGBTQ, but the basically the political overreaches that they're able to have, be largely in part because of the Democratic Party. I think that's more or less the argument. But Black Wizard 80s in the building says it sounds like you agree with my last super chat. If so, do you also wait? Hold on, wait. That's not the one. That's the go to the next one. Actually, bring up Black Wizard's most recent one. Bring up Black Wizard. He sent another $20 super chat. That's the one. Okay. Do whatever you choose, just don't bother me is a liberal point of view. You even mentioned that with your Luciferian behavior argument. That being the case, how do you argue that the problem is liberalism?
Modern day liberalism is not do whatever you want. They're forcing you to call men women and women men. They're forcing you to say men can have babies. They're forcing you into medical tyranny by forcing you to get the jab. They're forcing you to wear diapers on your face. Liberalism, modern day liberalism is not doing any of that. That's what liberalism used to be. Classical liberalism was do what you do. Modern day liberalism is authoritarianism. You will do what we say. You will allow your children to be around these mentally ill people. Okay, we're going to put these people. They're now sponsoring Bud Light, Nike, Jack Daniels. We're going to put these people everywhere. And we're going to force them down your throat. That's what liberalism is modern day liberalism is doing. Modern day conservatism says, do you live your life? Just don't impede on mine with your filth. Thank you.
Real quick, Black Wizard 80s, and I don't think he believes you answered his question when he asked directly. I think with the last super chat, is conservatism authoritarian? Did you answer that one directly?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Modern day conservatism is do what works for you. Just leave me alone. He's trying to take it back 80 years, what conservatism meant and what classical liberalism meant. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to bring those former definitions to today. We're going to deal with.
All right, hold on. Wait, just to land the plane on that. So, basically, that do whatever you do, just leave me alone. That's you basically saying, hey, if you're gay, go ahead and be gay. Just don't try to influence anything in the schools. Don't try to
live your life. Do what you do. Just keep what you do. If it's destructive, away from us. As long as what you're doing is with another consenting adult and in the confines of your house, you go ahead and do it. You want to mutilate yourself? Go ahead and do it. Wait till you're 18. We don't need to be mutilating 7-year-old children who have been manipulated by their mentally ill mothers to be the opposite of what their creator deemed for them to be.
All right, Black Wizard. Hopefully your questions are being answered. I do appreciate you sending the super chats. Free to come on up. Or if you ask another question, I try to eye it out if you got to follow up to whatever's being said. But it says, sound like I think we already read that one. It sounds like you agree with my last super chat. So if you do agree that the logical conclusion of conservatism is authoritarian state, yeah, okay. He answered that one. Okay, Ace Fast in the middle with the $5 super chat. He says this is what having talking points instead of conversation looks like. I don't even think this guy is a liberal. He's trying to have a dialogue, fam. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah. I don't know if he's one of y'all want to respond to that.
No, I'll say this. See, this is where I've learned in the almost 2 years of doing this is that I can't be responsible. It's take too much time to be responsible for everybody's assumptions. People either listen to hear or they listen to respond, and that's on them. I'm not spending no more time trying to correct people. That should just give me a headache and have my blood pressure up. I'm not doing it no more.
Oh yeah, no, my fault. I thought the link was circulating through the chat. Yeah, RM, drop the link in the chat. Patriarchy Strikes Back is asking for the link. Yeah, right now the link is for whoever wanted at this point. We 2 hours and 20 minutes in. Whoever wants the link is in the chat. It was there just for disagreements, but right now, whoever want a piece of the conversation, come on up. Nitty77 in the building says, great show, Bernard. Shout out to Lil Big Nate, aka the mayor of the Black Manosphere. The welfare system needs drastic overhaul or elimination. Thank you for the super chat. Do appreciate that. Sir Tyson in the building says nothing can be hijacked without the support of the masses. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. I agree with that statement. He's going back to when you said hip hop was hijacked and turned into everybody got to be gangster. But yeah, basically saying it can't be hijacked unless the general public and the masses basically accept whatever is being put out there. You know, people can reject it. Hoop Jargon Media Network in the building says, got him figured out. He's a nihilist, nothing more. Is that accurate? He's talking about you, little podcast.
Unfortunately, I was born in the 70s. I don't know what that means.
A nihilist is somebody that doesn't see a point to anything, to life, to anything. That's what nihilism is.
I'm more like the comedian. Have you ever seen what's the superhero movie? They did the TV show about it too, with the blue guy and all of that. If you ever seen that movie, I'll figure it out. But no, it's not that I don't see a point to nothing. What I'm saying is this: no matter what decade you go to, Black people have suffered in this place. So it don't matter who was in charge. None of that don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? You can't even show me. People are, oh man, we need to vote. How long we been voting? Over 100 years. Has it changed anything? No. So how long does voting, how long does it take for voting to impact the change that you're talking about? I don't know. So if I asked you and I told you, yo, you can come get this degree, you get this degree, you be making $500,000 a year. Man, how long is the degree program? It's indefinite. Would you sign up for that shit? No. So it's not that nothing don't make sense to me. It's that you can't make shit that don't make sense just because you wanted to. It just don't.
Well, the problem.
Yeah, but hold on, wait. My question is like you got a podcast, you have a platform, you speak. Mm-hmm. So rather somebody can, in a overhauling kind of way, change shit, but still, how does somebody with a podcast? You got a podcast. You're advocating for things that you believe in, even if it's futile, even if changing things is going to be minuscule or small incremental results or no results. You still have a microphone. You got a bullhorn, big or small, of which you're advocating for your thoughts, views, and perspective. That's the problem I have with that argument, that whole thought process. That hey, it ain't gonna change nothing, so there's no reason getting worked up about it. Yeah, Nate do get a little too worked up. But I respect the passion. Respect the passion, though. What
I'm saying is this: I believe in people. I do. I believe in people. Mm-hmm. I love people, and I like having conversations. Period. They are very therapeutic for me. What I'm saying is, though, you can't make me. If you can't offer me the proof, right? If you can't say, "Yo, I'm gonna show you right here, Black people was voting, and over here." They didn't have the best lives of anybody else. Like, you can't show it to me. You can't show me what voting has impacted Black people.
You're expecting too much from voting, sir.
Okay, no, listen. See, you're doing it again. How the fuck, let me cuss now. How the fuck am I expecting too much from voting when I'm saying I don't believe in the shit? I don't expect anything from it. What I'm saying is people sell it. That's what I'm telling you. Is that people sell it.
No, like people on the left sell voting as a cure-all end-all.
I don't give a
fuck. We don't do that.
I don't care. You can't just say it's people on the left when I'm literally telling you in this space, I'm having consistent conversations with people who want to keep saying you need to start voting Republican.
The thing, but those are those people.
Wait, hold on, real quick. Patriarchy. Hold your thought. Is it another? Let's get to the end of the super chats. I don't know if that was the last one. Let's hurry up and run through these, and then I'm gonna let y'all have it. It is what it is. In the building says he's it is what it is guy. Funny, oddly enough, that's your name. He says, stay on the couch and watch the dysfunction kind of guy. He'll watch you get deleted and say, what was I supposed to do? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. All right, that was the last one. All right, go ahead, Patriarchy Strikes Back. You got it.
Why are you using, so it's funny, have you studied slave morality by Nietzsche? Like, look at what you're doing. You're using black people for your stuff. You're invoking a group of people to push something that you want specific. It happens all the time on YouTube, but like,
wait, who are you addressing?
I'm talking to podcast. I'm talking to podcast. Okay. Why don't you just address yourself? Why do you use the black stuff? Why don't you talk? Because you're like, well, black people don't vote and all this kind of stuff. And why don't you talk? You said that you. No, hold on a second. You said you're using examples of, well, they've told black people to vote for years, and black people have suffered in every generation and all this kind of stuff. You said that before. Okay, so why don't you stop using black people and talk about yourself?
I literally have been talking about myself. Why don't y'all do it?
Okay,
so no, stop. Why don't y'all on y'all platforms talk about y'all lives? Why is everything y'all do, TikToks, Instagram videos, and everything else of everybody else's lives but y'all? You see,
hold up, it just became that.
What you're trying to do right now is you're gonna do it again, patriarchy. You know I don't like this shit. Don't fucking come up here mischaracterizing what I've said. Because this shit.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Real quick. Time out.
Didn't say none of that.
Time out. I'm about to go grab.
I'm just trying to.
I'll try to hold it down.
Y'all hear me? Did y'all hear me? Everybody heard me.
We got
y'all. Be cool. Keep it clean. All right.
No doubt. Patriarchy. No, come on. Don't do it, bro.
I'm asking for clarification. I'm asking for clarification. Then why use it as an example?
You said I was. Don't say that, bro.
I'm repeating what you said.
The only point I was making was that in this space, I don't have to pull the videos up. You're there. You hear it. You know they do it. You know it's always
what space.
In this,
you're talking about the black manosphere, but yo, check it out.
Everybody talks about different things. Like, what are you talking about? Like, everybody talks about different things.
Hold on, wait a minute. That's a whole new modality right now that people are using right now. That wasn't always like that in the space.
Okay.
These conversations did not consist
of space. Everybody keeps using the space.
The black manosphere, man. That's what it is. The black manosphere. You not familiar with that?
No, I'm not.
Get the fuck out of here. How you on Menard channel then?
People are telling people.
I didn't know that's what this is supposed to be.
Patriarchy, come on, bro. Talk to me for a second.
Okay, the other guy just started talking.
In this space, there's a lot of talk about black people need to stop voting Democratic and they need to start voting Republican.
Well, that was one man's opinion. That was one person's opinion.
Okay,
that was one person's opinion.
Well, no, you do hear that within the space quite a bit.
The space?
Yeah, nigga, I just defined the space. There you go with the space. The black manosphere, motherfucker.
Is it the space bar? Is it the backspace? Is there a backspace?
Man, get your goofy ass out.
Is it Space Jam? Are we talking about Space Jam?
Is it Space Jam?
Yeah, no, I mean, you're the one talking.
This nigga talking your regular voice.
This is my regular. This is my. I don't smoke black and mild, so I don't sound like it.
So what do you do?
No, go roll up another Dutch master.
What do you smell?
Go roll up another Dutch master.
You smell. What do you smell?
Yeah, go roll up another Dutch master. Go roll up another blunt. Go roll up another field. That's why your voice sounds like that. That's why.
Poppy field.
Go roll in the cotton fields.
Go roll in the poppy field.
Go roll in the cotton fields.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that is where we want to go. You want to go?
You want to go?
You want to go?
All right, dog. You growing some hair on your nuts now, ain't you?
Nah. I'm talking to him. So I don't know. I think the fake guy wants to have a conversation with you. Are you talking to me?
You got it. Go ahead.
I know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got this. Yo, yeah. Yo, so you need to get this submission. You know what I'm talking about? Go get this submission. You know what I'm talking about? These women and these submissions and all of that. Yo, you know, actually, well, I know my dad, unlike you. The statistics say otherwise for you, sir. The statistics say otherwise for you. What position was your dad in line for your mom?
Wait a minute. You
What positions was your dad in line for your mom? What position was your dad in line?
If you're talking about the statistics,
Now you're jumping in for him. It's me and him. Don't jump in for him. Don't jump in. This is what I'm talking about. You can't jump in. You're jumping in for him.
He wasn't speaking with his chest.
You're jumping in for him. You're jumping in for him.
Go ahead.
You're jumping in for him. You're jumping in for him. Why are you jumping in for him, Bernard?
Not your nose.
Everybody
say it with your neck.
He's saying it with his chest now. Go ahead, let him talk.
So now I'm getting muted. Now I'm getting muted.
The podcast is too. I'm just trying to figure out what you mean by the stats.
So when you left, he insulted me. So I'm insulting him back. That's all this is. We just playing the dozens, bro. Like when you left, he insulted. When you left, he insulted me. Now you trying to jump in and get some explanation. So when you left, he insulted me, and we going back and forth. Why jump in and take his side? I don't hear you asking him any questions. But why are you asking? Why are you asking me questions and not him?
Know what you meant.
Why are you asking him questions and not me?
Because
he said something about my dad first, so I went back at him.
I didn't hear that.
Okay, well then there you go. Maybe you should rewind the tape then.
My bad.
No, I said something about your daddy.
No, you did. You did.
I said something about your tone. Because your tone did denote that you had a man in your life.
You see this? You see this? See this?
All right.
Well, my dad didn't play hide the hanky. Your dad played hide the hanky with you. We know your dad used to touch you. We know the dude that claims your dad used to touch you and beat your mom. We know that.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. That's some assumption.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Patriarchy Space back. No, what I was trying to ask him. I mean, I guess I'd be forgetting that he's biracial. Because
okay.
When he said statistically, your dad is such as, I'm like, what? I'm sitting here hearing this. I'm like, what your black ass talking about? I was like, okay, I forgot his dad white. I forgot. That's what I was trying to. That's why I got confused.
Okay then. All right.
I think his dad's white, his mom's black. I think.
My bad. I wouldn't have said that then if I knew he was biracial, man. My bad, cuz I was out of pocket. I ain't.
You thought he was what? Yeah.
I thought he was a whole nigga trying to, you know what I'm saying, talk with that voice and shit.
I be forgetting too that he's okay. All right. Let's
Man, I catch it straight.
All right. Let's.
So I got thrown down though. I got thrown down
because you're talking about somebody's dad touching him.
Oh, but hold on a second. And what did he say to me?
I didn't hear
that boy.
Y'all soft as wet bread. Y'all soft as wet bread, bro. Yo, you shut up, bitch. I'm not even talking to you.
Ain't nobody no bitch. Get that boy out of here.
All right.
Holy shit.
All right.
My goodness.
Hey, I apologize, man. My bad. I don't know.
You ain't gotta, I don't. I mean, I didn't hear what you said. I didn't hear what you said. If you said something bad, I don't know. I didn't hear what you said.
Why are y'all cool with that boy?
I know. I like patriarchy, but he pretend to not understand that he deliberately takes it too far. There's a certain edge that we can talk shit on, but when you start, when he goes too far. Can't be calling people bad.
Check him more though. Like he don't ever get checked because he likes it. Like,
that ain't gonna do.
He that cousin that don't get in trouble because he likes it.
All right. I want to try to steer the conversation somewhere productive. Go ahead, SKC. I'm sure you got a good question, and then I'm gonna attempt to bring Patriarchy Strikes back because I do love his perspective when he ain't just fucking with people.
Yeah, I like.
Go ahead,
PSP too, man. He's good folk, man. The guy that was originally interviewing with Nate, I don't know his name.
Little podcast.
He has the hat on right now.
Yeah, little podcast in the right hand corner. All right, yeah.
Oh, okay. Little podcast. Let's say just hypothetically, if you had control of the manosphere and these associated spaces, like what would be the number one change that you would want to see happen? I'm just trying to get a feel for like what you would like.
Actually, you know what? That is an excellent question to ask me, specifically because I'm a person who challenges.
That was some hoe shit.
So-called
oh God.
Yeah,
Oh
deal with
God.
it.
Hey,
Right,
darky.
deal with it. Deal with it. Deal
Black
with it.
ass dark.
Deal with it. Deal with it. Deal with it. Go cry in the closet. All right. I mean, cry in the shower or whatever you do. I don't know. All right. Come on. Go ahead.
So honestly, my biggest pet peeve with the space right now is the fact that I think Angry Man wants us to have a hierarchy. And I understand why he wants us to have a hierarchy. And it's not that I don't think we should. It's just that I believe if you already have assholes in place and then you create a hierarchy and you put the assholes at the top, shit runs downhill. And it's just going to all fall apart again. You don't.
Yeah. So and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm just asking, like, and I understand the whole different things about the different people, and like the Angry Mans and the Obsidians and so forth. Okay, but let's say hypothetically, Little Podcast is at the top. You have ultimate control over. You're the emperor.
Mm-hmm.
What's your day one change? What are you doing?
Watching the chaos.
Man, I can't stunt.
Establishing the cabinet, shit. Establishing the fucking
fire
order.
right now, to be honest with you. Because the thing that I want to say immediately, I don't think I could actually implement it. Right? The change that I actually want to see, I don't think one man has the power to implement.
Well, humor me. Humor me. It's your world. You're the master. We
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
Hold on, we gotta let him bury himself
Hold on,
first.
wait a minute. Just throw it out there, because the question SKC asked is, I myself would fumble if he asked me to I got a magic wand, I could do whatever I want to do with this space. What I do?
Yeah.
I don't know. That
First
is a
you
tough question.
establish a council. First and foremost.
Hold on. Wait, bro. The question was put to Little Podcast. Now you just now you gonna copy off your paper.
He ain't gonna copy off that because he wasn't even thinking about that. He was talking about sitting on the
but
couch earlier.
I didn't even hear what he said. So.
Okay, good. Yeah, but you potentially gave him
Yeah, I mean, honestly, bro, to me, in the space right now, I think ego is the biggest problem, and I don't know how you get rid of that.
That's what any group.
I don't even know what the answer is outside of people checking themselves and humbling themselves. And as I was saying right before you did reaffirm your question, is that if you're calling it the manosphere, right? The manosphere, right? Then let it be the manosphere. Don't make it the man with the most subscribers sphere. Don't make it the man that got 1,000 people watching live sphere. Don't make it the man with the
How
Rolex.
is it that though? How is it that? Like you're
Okay,
saying
so
that
this
the
is what I
man
don't
with the
want to
most.
do. This is what I don't want to do. This is what I don't.
Come on, I need. Hold on, wait. Stop. I asked him.
That question.
I asked him a question. When I ask somebody a question, I don't need people to get like I don't need people to heckle his answer. I want him to explain.
I don't feel like.
All right.
I don't feel like if you haven't had that experience, congratulations. Just don't gas like mine.
Who's crackling something?
Swag.
So that's my whole thing. Everybody has their own experiences. So
no, I understand. Okay, all right. There are some people who like to dick wave about their subscriber count. So, but I still don't understand that. I still don't understand what you mean. Like this space, I think more than any other space, somebody with a smaller channel can have a big impact. I think my channel before I even had 5,000 subs, I think had a big impact just because the amount of the panels that I had on here. I mean, there was times when I didn't have 5,000 subs, but at any given moment, you was liable to see Obsidian, Angry Man, Kevin Samuels right around the time that he was about to blow up.
Facts.
Just fucking BGS, ARC on the same panel and stuff. Like you was like, so you can have a big impact with a smaller channel. So I'm not exactly seeing that. And I mentioned the other day that that two individuals, in my opinion, flipped the whole down Black Manosphere upside down on his head, and they didn't. Neither of them had more than 5,000 subscribers on the channels that they did it on. So it's like, you can have some traction in this space with smaller channels, but there are some people who like the subscriber count dick wave, and but I don't think, yes,
Can I ask y'all something right quick?
A lot of people hearing your voice does matter and does make a difference, because I mean, you just in terms of reach and size of bullhorn, their words are going to impact more people than somebody who doesn't have as big of a bullhorn. But still doesn't mean you can't have an impact with a smaller channel.
So it's like with what you just said, right? I can't tell if you gaslighting me or not, because it's like if you understand that a person with a bigger platform can have a bigger reach, then you should also understand why ego would be a problem. That person should be one of the last persons who spend all their time on their channel or on their platforms shitting on other people because they don't have as much money or subscribers.
I can agree with I can agree with that statement right there.
So that's why when he asked me what I would change, right? That's why I was like, it's difficult for me because my main issue with this space right now, the main issue is the ego involved because that shit is everything.
I can agree. Hold on, wait, real quick. I can agree with that statement. I do think with more, for lack of a better word, with more power, more responsibility. I get it. And if you got a big platform in the space, yeah, you shouldn't be using it just to shit on other people in the space. I agree.
Yeah, but there's another side to that.
If I could get one counter to that I think it's that this it creates a weird situation within because of how this is all set up. Okay, like I understand when you say, hey, the ego thing. I get that. However, if we were to look at a large business, who of us would in our right mind state that CEOs don't have huge egos?
That's true.
Because they're at the top of the pyramid, as it were. The difference in this setup is that if we were in a major corporation, the people on the lower rungs would not dare fixate their mouths to try to say crazy stuff to the CEO.
Exactly, because they're employees.
They would have consequences for doing so. And because those consequences don't exist, that's where you have this free flow of communication back and forth between the people that you say have the high subscriber counts and the money that they get, and how they are easy to flip off at the tongue at people who criticize them.
But real quick,
because those people at the lower rungs, they have no sense of giving the flowers or respect to the people who have done that work to get to the places that they have gone to. They
give them a job,
as if they're the people that are on the street that they can just talk crazy to with no consequence. We get that?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I hate that I'm responding to something that you're putting towards him. I think one difference, the employees don't have access or ability to just go and be berating or trying to talk like they equal to the CEO, but the CEO of a functioning company is not going to be like, you worthless, lazy motherfuckers don't deserve minimum wage. You know, it's like, don't even deserve minimum. So from that standpoint, like this is where I get to a point where I'm, these all the manosphere isms and schisms in politics, it's some bullshit. We're all individual content creators, and that's just that. I do end up falling on that, even though I like the idea of the Black Manosphere and the fact in my channel, like I just said, I just mentioned when I had 5,000 subs and the caliber of people that was on my channel. So I can never just shit on it or abandon it because I know it was very integral to the early growth of my channel. But right now I am operating like my own separate entity. I don't have as much connection with all the individuals that I do credit as being integral to the early growth of my channel. I don't talk to them as much no more. So I am like a separate entity now. But the overall idea of the Black Manosphere is something that I believe in. But from a practical standpoint, it being organized and running like a company, I've lost little faith in the possibility of that actually being a thing. But I'll step back and let y'all have it.
And Bernard, let me hold on one second.
I've been trying to talk the entire time. You know what I'm saying? I'll let two people talk before me.
Yeah, just real quick. You can't control what other men do on their platform. You can't. You just don't worry about it.
It's not about controlling. What it is, okay, so the whole thing is the world now operates Red Pill through the Black Manosphere lens of it, right? Even the Manosphere itself kind of bends to the influence of the Black Manosphere's perspective. And the Black Manosphere, supposedly broke off from the Manosphere proper, if you will, due to, this tribal racism that the Pilgrims had within there, whatever. But yet they've succumbed to it. The thing is, it's not an element to where you make a company of it. It's more along the line to where everybody put up shout out to Ism. He said people use all these comic book characters. He don't understand that it's symbols though. You know what I'm saying? It's all symbolism. It's a web type of thing. But that doesn't mean that the principles are any lacking in solidity, even if it isn't in brick mortar style, whatever.
Can I ask you something, brother?
It's a philosophy. All right. And let's say that there is maybe a council built around the integrity of the philosophy that creates some element of anchoring for it. Because I think that's what people are trying to do. They're trying to see how they can get some type of grounding and base set upon it, because it does appear to be something that you should definitely easily be able to build with. You know what I'm saying? Again, brothers of all kind of skill sets, backgrounds, experiences and shit. It's like, all right, yeah, you know what I mean? It's a lot of potential here. But I think what it is that we seek ourselves inadvertently trying to build on the, dare we say, the pro-black side of the game, not understanding that, well, you're not connected to the community that you want to build for. The community is in the hands of the very system that the majority of y'all will purport as making it as success in as the way of, achieving in life and shit. That very fucking same system is eating on your motherfucking communities and shit. But yeah, it's also seen as the fucking route towards success for most of you niggas.
But
it's like
I'm saying this is the problem, dog.
And
Bruh,
we on this side of the aisle are successful, so that's what we believe.
Hold on, but let me say this. And this, hey, Big Nate, this crunchy roll ups. This is what I know. At the end of the day, if you're trying to go feed your village and go get some fish, there's one route that y'all know that y'all gonna take. The other route is gonna have a whole bunch of problems. The problem is ain't nobody on code. Everyone is arguing about things that we see actively making society worse. And the crazy part is, it's like, well, man, like, you can't really do it all by yourself. So you might as well just let that happen. And I'm going to let my kid graduate. Like, no, bruh. You literally just said, all right, I'm going to let my kid say the Pledge of Allegiance to a gay flag because I don't want to be involved in the argument of stopping my kid from doing so. Mm-hmm. Whether you agree with it or not. That's the problem. Like, bro, like for real, we don't need to talk about the manosphere space or what Pearl did to the space or none of that. For real, it really come down to it. What you stand on as a man? Because I'll be real. Indeed. Let my kid go to school, and then there's a problem where it's like, oh, they're trying to teach my 6-year-old child about sex. I'm gonna stop you. I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, or if you're my neighbor and there's a pedo down the street. Are we all going to be watching out for each other's kids, or it's just your kids? Is that what matters to you? What you my neighbor for? What you even come meet me for?
I think that matters a lot. And by the way, gentlemen, good afternoon. It's a great topic. I have some solutions for the manosphere, so-called manosphere. I say break away from the name entirely. Just get rid of the name. And because it's not something organic that you built, start all over again and build a movement for productive Black men that has real objectives, real goals, real ambition.
Those do exist. You just ignore the pages because they don't have as much publicity. There are a lot of brothers who talk about, hey, you can do A, B, and C to research this. There are people that come on here and talk about whatever STEM fields they in, how they're trying to recruit other brothers into it. Y'all ignore it because y'all like drama. Niggas like drama.
Just for the record, I topped out at 600 live views yesterday. I was covering the drama, and it break my heart to say this. Like the last time I had Sub-Zero on, when the whole purpose of the show was talking IT and getting brothers signed up and everything, and one topped out at maybe 100 views. So
that's my point.
So yeah, but the fact of the matter is, those options are in the space. There are
Thank
brothers in this space who do have the IT class, who do have, who do, give information on trucking or in stocks, investments. I just had obstacles of opportunity.
Well, that's very constructive.
A new brother in this space who, he's talking about corporate real estate. That conversation blew my mind. So
those things are very constructive.
Are you in the bathroom, bro, man?
I'm trying to be quiet.
Like you're in
There's music outside. Yeah, there's music outside.
So either way it go, either I got you, E Black. But either way it go, I don't think when you're saying, okay, I think when you threw out there, come on, somebody, y'all gotta mute up. Somebody moving furniture, washing dishes.
The guy with the L on his thing.
Yeah, he taking the shit.
Bro, mute up, bro. Mute up. So so yeah. It's like I don't like when people say I need to just get rid of it altogether and and just build a whole new space of men who do A, B, and C, blah blah blah. There's already pockets within the space that do that. All right, there's pockets within the space that are doing it. And what happens? Hold on, wait, real quick. What you're doing walks on this slippery slope that a lot of people go down, where they get those thoughts that you have right there, and instead of them actually building that space that's doing that, they just spend all their time trying to shit on the manosphere, trying to tear the black manosphere down, and they ain't even building nothing up. People who got
is it not already destroyed? Because let's keep it honest here.
No, it's not.
A non-black woman was managing to come in this space.
Boom.
And use
she didn't do that shit.
Use the space. Hold on. Use the space.
What space? The black manosphere.
She didn't do shit.
The so-called black manosphere space.
Okay. Stop. I'm gonna stop you and correct you. Then we're gonna move on. No white bitch came into the black manosphere space. A white bitch started her own channel, tagged and titled her own videos, made her own content, spammed the algorithm with that content. The algorithm caught that content, and a bunch of people in the UK and all over the globe subscribed to her shit and got her 1.3 million subs. That don't got nothing to do with the black manosphere.
Say it again.
To do with it.
Okay, so if I can gain understanding,
because we've been down this line.
Can I understand? Can I
let L take his L first?
Well, can I if I can gain understanding here, what's the difference between a white manosphere and a black manosphere? And show us one of each.
What you mean?
Because we're black, nigga. Because we're black.
This is the thing. People come in here and they have some account to try to hold us to some type of accountability, and they don't understand the history. This motherfucker has been operating since 2007, motherfucker.
Here's the thing, bro.
Can we bring the conversation back to what the
so what? Well, if you're trying to bring unity, you're trying to squash beef here. No wonder why
you just don't want the manosphere to exist, bro. You don't want it to exist. You love women too much. You love women more than yourself, bro.
I'm not
and
trying
degrading
to
other people.
I'm not
Hold on, Nate, chill. This bro L loves women more than himself. He has a problem with the discussion being had. You could change the name of it, but he'll still have a problem with the fact that you're talking about it. It's not about that. Like, you could say the white manosphere, blase skip. Like, no, for real. We having a conversation about things that black men deal with because we're black men and we dealing with those things. But you want to tell me what's the difference? The fact that I'm a black man and I got different circumstances than another motherfucker. You just want no one to have the conversation because it bothered your bitch or your mama.
Well,
oh God, you one of them. You one of them, bro. Get that nigga up out of here. Get that nigga up out of here.
Hold on. Let me ask Linwood this question. Is this just a veiled way to just try to get us to shut up talking about black women? Is that all this is? Go ahead, unmute and answer.
No, not at all. I do believe that black women I do believe that black women have some social issues as far as their perceptions of what a black man is supposed to be, and they've been fed that incorrect assessment from the media. Can they change that aspect? Yes, but they have refused to do so. Now, the majority of black men don't think like the black manosphere. Many of them are just working people. I don't even talk.
Time out. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Is that a good thing or a bad thing that the majority of black men don't think like the black manosphere? Answer.
I don't know if it's correct or incorrect because I never hear
Why
it.
you talking?
You have
This is the problem ultimately. Okay,
You don't stand on nothing.
There will be no improvement.
Well, sir, you don't even know who I am, and you're already coming at me with the breath.
Wait, hold on. Nate, the special featured guest here. Okay, let him go ahead and let him get it. Let me say what he got to say. Go ahead.
There's not going to be any improvement in anything in a collective sense until Black men implement serious cultural consequences for errant women who don't follow protocol. And until you implement these cultural consequences, all is lost. You're wasting your time, especially if you're up here focusing on white supremacy, racism, which is what the left and the hoteps and the pro-blacks do. My premise was it's the decisions that Black women are making in their lives that is the primary culprit to the dysfunction we're seeing. That's what that video from Bill Moyers was about. It's what's showing that video with the auditions of Black women at that reality show is about. All that we see all over the internet. And until these pro-Blacks have the courage to correct Black women, you can forget it. You can forget it. It's over. Everything is done. Everything is lost. If you keep putting your focus on challenging the white man and all this other nonsense, it's finished. It's done. Most of these dudes, like I said, on the left, can't even produce families. That's the most revolutionary thing you can do, is as a man attempt to establish your Black family. How come so few men on the other side?
Hallelujah.
And so many men on our side are either doing it or they've tried.
Yep. I'm gonna swing it to E Black. E Black ain't said nothing. Go ahead, E Black. You got it.
That's interesting.
Well, the one thing I would say is that I want the manosphere to get back to what I originally came into, was straight statistics and debate style. I think in the words of Obsidian, we got so comfortable with whoop that trick that it's watered down everybody else. And I think it's just kind of like when I came in here, you couldn't join the panel without having stats, statistics.
Yeah, but that don't mean that, bro. That don't mean that, bro.
I get
Time out. The nonsense in what E Black said is that we do use stats. And we get criticized for using stats.
Facts.
So I don't even know what you're talking about. There's plenty of a lot of stats are in the forefront.
Oh, I love that dude. He funny.
Stats are in the forefront, the backdrop of a lot of the conversations here. In fact, if you look at Black YouTube in general, when they're talking about all these issues that we talk about here, they're actually finally bringing stats. Even when Black women, they start their little channels, they're trying to counter us. They're pulling out all kind of stats and all kind of stuff like that. They used to never do that. It was all I feel like. Yeah. We made stats become a part of the Black conversation. So no, I reject the premise on that. If I was to whoop the trick thing, the person I say it probably was Obsidian and BGS, who probably were the originals, who was really bringing a lot of stats to the table. And while Obsidian was bringing those stats, he was also whooping that trick with those stats. Like the stats were the stick that he used to whoop the trick with. Like, so I mean, it's like,
and ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, nigga, you gotta drop stats on a nigga. Like, let's be real. We go to school. Look, if A student is way different than a D student, are we supposed to act like there's no difference? Everybody acting like, well, man, it's just YouTube. It don't matter. I'm like, I've watched y'all. I ain't even made a channel, but I've watched y'all, and I'm like, all right, I'll fact check this guy. And most of the time, y'all right. Like, but everyone who comes up here does not watch you like that. That's what I've noticed. They're like, well, I've only seen like maybe a couple clips or two or a short. And I'm like, nigga, why are you talking about some shit you ain't even watch?
Right. I have a question for this. I have a question for all of you on this panel. About this ideology you have. How come the majority of Black men, well, men's are ideology, whatever the case may be.
Ask your question. Don't focus on the trolling, bro. Just ask your question.
Well, I'm not trolling. I'm a real person.
No, I'm saying I'm telling
saying
you
that other people are trolling you. Just ask the question.
Okay, my question is this. If your manosphere is so successful and your ideology is very prosperous, why do you continuously have shouting matches and name-calling spats at other people?
What do you
humans
think we
do
are
that.
qualifying as success? Hold up. What do you think we are qualifying? Or what do you project we are qualifying as success? This success that you
Qualified
observe.
success meaning that the collective of 40-something million black people in this country are following that ideology, that code of conduct, that thought, speech, and action in their everyday interactions.
We understood.
If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. Goofy. Like, ain't nobody trying to go save no other nigga. Like, we gave you the advice. Move on. If you take it, take
You're
it.
missing it. You're missing
Like,
it.
no, he crazy.
I'm the bad guy though.
He crazy.
Hold on, y'all. He implied that we somehow thought that the majority of Black America was with us on the things that we say. We understand that we're on the fringe. We understand that we're the rebels that's raging against the machine. Like, what are you talking about?
Goofy.
Yo, cuz, for real.
Like, come on, like this, like whose man's is this? Like,
whose man?
His girlfriend's lens. That's his bitch's lens. Like, that's what nobody wants to tell certain niggas. Like, you are only here to stop niggas from talking because your girlfriend bothered by hearing you listening to it.
Yeah,
that's
just
it.
Gonna change the channel though, cause she under the spell, nigga.
All right, guys, bring up the super chest. Bring up the super chest. We have to almost.
Oh,
this was actually turned into a good one. This is a good one. Omega. What'd you say? Hold on. What'd you say, little podcast?
I said I want to ask Big Nate a question too when you get through.
All right, cool. Actually, I'll let you ask him that question, and he'll probably take us home with the answer. But all right, Omega Dre's gaming channel in the building says order 66. Thank you for the super.
What do we get for $10? Everything you want.
Yeah, we don't need hold off on the drops. I'm trying to roll right through it. Hold off on the drops, trying to roll right through it. Kyle Procut's in the building. He says, I think podcast is too caught up trying to make the space perfect, create your own army with your own thoughts, or be the louder voice in the space respectfully. All right. I don't know if you need to respond to that. That was just a general point. Let's roll with it. He says, Who Jargon Media says, get great value game changer out of here. I think he was referring to Linwood. He's ideologically nothing like game changer, but there's a little tone, pitch, cadence.
That nigga a B word. He a whole B word.
The tone, pitch, and cadence probably has some similarity, but Black Wizard Ados in the building says, leave the space decentralized. Yeah.
I agree.
All right.
I agree.
All right. Go ahead, little podcast. Ask Nate the question, and it's probably going to be the and Nate, you can answer his question, and then we'll get your final thoughts, and we get the hell up out of here. Go ahead.
I'm gonna pull up on Nate show.
My question was, what percentage of black men who are married do you believe are Republican?
What percentage of black men that are married do I believe are Republican? I'm going to be honest. I don't know. Let me tell you why it ultimately doesn't matter to me. Because I'm not worried about quote unquote black men. The only black men I concern myself with are like-minded black men. Meaning you agree with me at least 51% of the time. That's all I ask. You agree with Little Big Nate 51% of the time. We're like-minded men, and possibly we can do business, and there's things we can accomplish together.
That's fair.
Like the Black Manosphere meetup, which is going to be happening this October. I had a death in my family. Things got kind of put off for about a month. For those of you unfamiliar, the Black Manosphere meetup was something myself.
Prayers to your family, bro. Prayers to your family.
I appreciate
my condolences.
Oh, I appreciate that. In December of 2021, myself, Sir Tice, there was another gentleman who financed it and provided the venue. And we brought almost 100 black men together of like minds. And Jonathan Barronville, he's a young gentleman who's credited with having a genius level IQ. He's a high level IT professional. He said out of his mouth that it was the quote best networking event that he had ever been to. the Black Manosphere meetup. It doesn't represent all Black men. Just like this gentleman's question, you're always like pulling me into like Black men or the poor, these large scale groups.
Save the community.
Yeah, I can't. I won't have any effect on this broad scale group of people. I can get the men who think like me, not that, I'm trying to control shit or force people to do shit. If we share an ideology, we can get busy doing something and accomplishing something. And this year's Black Manosphere meetup will be this October. And we've had to push it down because finding a venue's been particularly difficult. If you're going to find a venue for something, do it a year before, because trying to do it 6 months out is very difficult, very difficult. But in October, we're going to be, the theme of this year's Black Manosphere meetup will be, and you're not going to like this, sir, but it's declaring our independence from woke culture. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to declare our independence as like-minded Black men from woke culture. What I suggest for the Black Manosphere is this: there's small communities of men. When you start to try to think in a collective, it's not going to go anywhere, gentlemen. It's just not. You're trying to herd cats. These cats like Purina over here. These
How
cats
many niggas
like
you think is
Cashapp.
woke though? Well, you think most niggas in the manosphere is woke? Really?
No,
Everybody was. Bro, everybody was.
I'm not trying to appeal to most men in the manosphere. I'm only trying to appeal to the like-minded men. That's it. That's it. I am not.
Think they woke though? Okay, so you think
so
you think most motherfuckers is already in a state of wokeness, whatever this detrimental wokeness that you.
No,
they were woke.
Declaring our independence from woke culture.
Independence from woke culture. What is the tie-in that motherfuckers is already participating within it? If there's an independent, what do you mean independence? I don't get it.
I know what it is.
You gotta be with it and be around it or whatever first, right?
You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like when people say, you know what, I have to have an enemy. Right? I have to have somebody. There has to be an antagonist.
Little podcast. It wasn't that, dog. It was really the fact, and let's go back to when woke was really woke. It was a situation where, remember when Mike Brown when Mike Brown was killed. I ain't gonna say passed away. He was deleted, and when he died, there was a brother down there in that state who started the whole Black Lives Matter thing to begin with. It just wasn't called that. They made a phone call to him to try to televise what they had going on and try to commercialize it. Right after that, that brother died. Then woke got removed from what it initially was us being aware of police brutality to being about a whole bunch of gay stuff. That's what happened.
Well, that's what it is today, gentlemen. Facts. And we are declaring our independence.
So it's been commandeered. So you're speaking of the commandeered contemporary state of woke.
Sir, I'm talking about what woke represents today.
Yes.
Woke today represents homosexuality, trans culture, mutilating children sexually. That men can have babies. We had a Black UC Berkeley law professor sit before the United States Senate subcommittee and argue that men can have babies. We want nothing to do with this. We are declaring our independence from woke culture.
How does there need to be a declaration of?
Because I'm in charge of it, and that's what I'm doing.
It's common sense, though.
No, it does need.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. How is it common sense and don't nothing need to be declared a separation from it when the vast majority of Black men are still voting and operating right in line with the shit?
I mean, okay, well,
it needs to be declared.
If they're operating ignorantly and still, I mean, okay, isn't it a choice though for motherfuckers to do, you know what I'm saying, whatever ill shit they doing. Isn't that a choice? The thing is, you're not finna stop America from turning into Rome II.
Oh God,
These motherfuckers,
That's your opinion.
these pilgrims. That
So
ain't
you
my
just gonna let
opinion.
it
I'm
happen?
looking at the
Though?
nature, dog. The thing is, y'all look at this shit largely from a political perspective and somewhat of toxic measures, because there are some
In a zombie apocalypse,
there
you
are some
useless.
tribal subjectives that are taking place on, you know what I'm saying, how this nation governs itself. And when it comes to all that ill shit, that's these pilgrims being them, man. You're not finna stop these motherfuckers from being them.
He didn't
That's
say
just
stopping
that's
them.
what
He
it is.
said
That's different.
That's your opinion.
Who was just talking down?
That's
not
different.
my
Hold on, wait. I want to hear a little podcast. I want to hear a little podcast. Go ahead.
Because you know what I've realized, bro, is that in this space, this black manosphere space, I figured this out. It took
You
me
don't
a
need the
while, but I
quotations,
finally
dog.
put it together. These niggas scared of white people. Man, they will sit on platforms all day long. Niggas ain't shit, niggas ain't shit, bitches ain't shit, bitches ain't shit, niggas ain't shit, niggas ain't shit, bitches ain't shit. As soon as you say, he brought up a teacher earlier. She had the kids saluting the flag. I said, what color is the teacher? She was white leftist.
No, sir. I said she was white before anybody asked. I said she was a white suburban teacher. What are you talking about? Oh my God. Go do your thing, homie.
No, he did he brought up the race of the teacher, bro.
What we're doing is not aimed at
talk
you.
about that shit.
Lil Podcast, you capping right now. He literally said white before you asked it, bro.
literally
I
said
watched
a
it.
white suburban teacher.
I just said he said white. I just said you said it.
No, you said
Before you
I said
asked
it after you asked me. That's
I
not
know.
true.
I just said that you said she was white. I just said that.
So how am I afraid of white people if I said it then?
What I said was this. You said it very quickly. And then
Oh
you
my
went to
God.
all
This is ridiculous.
What? Wait a minute,
You're
bro.
ridiculous.
Hold
You
on.
wildin', nigga.
Real quick.
I literally came up here talking about the white Democrat. I came up here talking about the white Democrat.
I'm obviously being facetious, but what I'm saying is the fact that,
sir, I came up here talking about the white Democrat.
Talk about it. Bro, you've been the main motherfucker all day telling niggas that they can't fight no racism, white supremacy. So don't try to
now I told them they can't fight racism.
By saying you scared to talk
Nigga,
about
you
white
insane.
Get the
You're
fuck
insane.
out of here, nigga. You've been
You're
saying that shit
insane.
all day.
You're insane.
No, you're insane.
You're
You've been saying it
insane,
all
nigga.
day. The fuck is you talking
I've been
about?
saying all day you can't
All
fight
day.
racism.
You've been saying it all day.
You're mentally ill, nigga.
Okay,
Shut up.
okay, all right. No disrespect to nobody. I was trying to end the show at 3:00. I gotta end the show. I'm letting Nate do his final speech. He was advertising. He was talking about the Black Manosphere meetup. I want to let him say whatever he got to say and get whatever he got to say out. And I gotta end the show. No disrespect, dropping everybody down, but I am trying to end the show. I'm gonna give Little Big Nate. He was a special guest this morning. Give him the last word and let him finish saying what he was saying about the Black Manosphere meetup. And we're gonna wrap the show up. Appreciate much love and respect to all y'all. Much love and respect to all y'all. Even Linwood. Even Linwood. All right. Go ahead.
It's insane. I literally said white folks. I pointed out how the white Democrat is our enemy, and now I'm scared of white folks. I can't believe it. This is why I said leftist niggas, you gotta move beyond them. And that's what we're doing. I have zero interest in trying to work with guys that think like this. The Black Manosphere meetup is not for you. It's for men of like minds. This is the problem when you try to herd cats. You can't do that. You let these cats go their way and do what they want. God bless them. And the men of like minds are going this way. And that's what we're going to do. You don't have to like what we represent. You don't have to like our perspective. We're not trying to convince you to do anything. You came up here to address me. I'm not going anywhere to address you. Okay? We're going to move in our direction. We are going to give a voice to the men in this community who are invested in this country and who are trying to succeed and want to achieve and want to chop their piece of this American dream or whatever you want to call it out for themselves and their families. Okay? That's what we're going to do. Doesn't matter what you feel. Doesn't matter how you feel about how things should go and how hating hierarchical structures and shit. I'm sorry. We're going to do what we have to do as men on the right-leaning side of the political spectrum. You don't have to like it. You can get with the men that think like you and do what you choose to do. That's just how it works. You ain't telling me and the men I move with to do anything. We do what we're going to do. You should do the same.
All right. Now, with that said, I'd like to thank everybody for coming on in, participating in the stream. Everybody who liked, shared, subscribed, super chatted, Cash App, did anything to support the stream in any way, shape, or form. RM, if there's any super chats that I haven't read, please pull them up on the screen right now so I can acknowledge them as we make our way out of here. It looked like there was one more out the door. The Uncle Tom, I think that's a brother I talked to on Fight Club. Yeah, he says, I'm conservative podcast. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Do appreciate that. Appreciate everybody in the building. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this thing on up. Like to thank each and every one of you. Like to thank each and every one of you. Somebody said free patriarchy. No, I rock with patriarchy, but he know when he's just going. He know when he clowning. He know when he clowning. Hopefully he yeah. Anyway, all right, we getting up out of here. Thank y'all, everybody. With that said, we out of here. Peace. We gone.
Salute.